The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show. Thank you guys for showing up. And thank you, Ruben and Bruce, for joining me tonight. And man, we got a lot of shit to talk about, as we do every week. But how are you guys doing?
You want to go first?
Either one. He's frozen in time.
No, I'm not. I'm free.
I know.
I'm playing.
I know. But how are you guys doing?
I'm okay.
Good.
What happened? Just kidding. Never mind. Just media hit job. I don't even know. I have no idea what happened.
I'm going to say something, and I mean,
when we get to the video. But go ahead, Bruce.
Did this week seem to just every day you get a shopping cart load of shit that just dumps the dumbest fucking news in your plate? I mean, I know my ex is tuned up for me. If there's any racial slurs, by the way, in the chat, if you have a favorite racial slur, go ahead and type it in the chat. It's magic. Anyway,
what happens? Things gonna change? It doesn't do it anymore.
Dumbest shit in the news. So I'm always like, anything new that fucking Jasmine Crockett does, I see it. Anything new that fucking some stupid fucking liberal with a chrysanthemum colored hair, I see it. And so every fucking week, besides Janet's pile of shit that she dumps out on Friday night, I get a daily 15-minute reminder that Thanos was right. And I so wish we had a Thanos. Because if I was one of the 50% that got snapped, not my fucking problem anymore. Have fun, faggots. And that's it.
Did I miss something?
Okay. I'm glad that you were able to get that off your chest. But I'm going to...
I swear to God, this is like the worst fucking timeline. Like, okay, we elected somebody in office. You don't agree with them, or you don't agree with the majority of Republicans or conservatives that got elected. So now I go to the fucking store today, and there's a fucking green-haired wildebeest that's got a fucking pacifier in it, larger than a 12-ounce can of beer. Pacifier. The new fucking trend in these liberal idiots.
Yeah.
Like it was first a septum ring. The septum ring was the identifier. Like if they got a septum ring, they're fucking liberal idiot. But now, if they're a real liberal idiot, they got the fucking the binky. They're sucking the binky. And this thing was about a good 450 pounds.
You don't think a woman sucking on a binky is sexy?
She's one continuous curve. She looked like a bran muffin.
If a biggie is a penis, then yes.
Well, if it's in her mouth and it's got a handle on it, then I don't think it's a
Well, not a
penis.
handle. I meant the real thing. Be authentic, my ladies.
Oh my God.
Please.
It's scary
My-
what you can
oh
see nowadays in public. Yeah.
Basically.
That's
No,
a lot
not
of
really.
work.
It's work then? So you're saying that you get paid. Just kidding. I'm playing.
But I don't know. Yeah, it's just been a lot of stupid
Ever heard
shit
of
that's been
OnlyFans?
going on. I did a show last night, and it was all about the shooting that happened in Minnesota. And I showed a video of Tim Waltz signing in the EU, showing that giving his state sanctuary status for children that want to come there, to get transgender help and things like that. So, yeah, it's all sad. It's all really sad stuff going on. But just that is sad. But some of the other shit that we're going to talk about tonight is sad and pathetic. But I didn't think I could see any more shit that was so shitty. You know what I mean? Until I saw something that popped across my timeline, and I was ranting when I was talking to Bruce about it, because it was just really, really chapped my ass. And if I'd been there, the guy wouldn't have got away with it. I would have kicked him right in the freaking balls and pushed him in the face or whatever. I would have beat the shit out of this guy. I probably would have beat his wife too if she tried to stop me. But what a skanky piece of shit. And before I do this, I'm going to do this award I haven't given out in a while. I'm going to do it twice. What a piece of shit this person is. Let me show you what this guy right here, this piece of shit right here, does to this kid. It's disgusting, and he should be ashamed. And I want everyone, I'm going to share this video in my chat, and I would love it if all of you share the shit out of this, because this guy right here needs to see his face up on a billboard for doing what he's about to do to this kid. Oh, he just pisses me off. I'm really sorry, but boy, this made me angry. But here we go.
What a fucking loser.
Oh, yeah.
That was that kid's hat. Look at him. He's like, please, please.
Yeah, that was mine.
My hat. He puts it in his wife's bag, and she just doesn't. She's oblivious. What a skanky piece of shit. Grown man. That kid asked for his hat, and he gave it to him, and that guy took it. What a piece of shit. Oh, this makes me so mad. What a skank. Is this a soccer game or something?
Looks like baseball.
Okay, see, I don't even know. I have no idea. The balls are holding, they look like giant tennis balls or something. So maybe it's a tennis match. But whatever it is, this guy, somebody needs to get a hold of whoever this gentleman is and tell him that this piece of shit right here took that hat right from this kid that he was about to give this kid, because the kid asked for it. Oh, God, this makes me so mad. I'm sorry. Really pisses me off that a grown man would do something like that to a kid. I mean, that's just repulsive. And that is unattractive. Yeah, well, I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's a Democrat or whatever, but I'm telling you right now, men, that kind of action, to do that in front of a woman, instantly makes your penis this big to a woman. I don't care how good looking you think you are, or how much fucking money you have in your wallet. Your penis is this big when you do something like that to a little boy. That is disgusting. I just want you to know that. And that is sad and pathetic, and just, that guy's a cuck. That guy is a whatever. What's the worst word a man can be called? That's what he is. Oh, it pissed me off, but I couldn't help it.
you know that shirt I wear that's got the little frog in the navigator chamber for the dune, and it's
Yes.
Hungarth Strawberry. So I'm at the store today, and this woman that's got a fucking like black sheer tablecloth draped all around her, she's looking at me as I'm pushing my cart up to the checkout, and she's like, "I don't like you." What? I don't like your shirt. I mean, that's what I mean. I'm like, well, you're probably a racist. And I just kept fucking pushing the cart up, and I grabbed my bacon and threw it on the belt first, and got the beer. I'll be bringing the beer in just a second because I need a drink. I've been trying to stay sober today because this is coming up. But she made a fucking public statement about that in the store, trying to make me feel ashamed about little fucking Pepe the Frog, the navigator steering America, and the level 3 navigator. And I was a little bit upset with her, like, I don't give a fuck if you're offended. I'll buy 4 more shirts of these and hope to see you on a daily basis. Oh, well.
Well,
And it's a shame no big-time communist got buried today. We did have one day this year. We had one good day this month. We had the 85th anniversary of Leon Trotsky getting shoveled off because an assassin did the right thing after he had been kicked out of like 4 fucking countries.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry, baby girl.
We're so full of so many. Oh yeah, he is.
That guy that fucking stole the fucking ball cap.
He's an asshole. And here's the other one that says he's a bitch because he is. So being a bitch is a bad word. A good word to call a guy.
Can we use the supreme insult or slur on somebody on YouTube?
I don't know. Put it in the private chat, and I'll tell you. You can use it or not. I've already said some dirty words, but I have my channel
it's the word.
Not for children. I have my channel set for not for kids, so no kid should be watching my show. That's why I do it on Friday night after 9. So hopefully parents are making sure their kids aren't watching my show because it's not like there's nudity on here, but there is vulgar language.
Will be soon. Oh my God.
Maybe one day, I don't know, but not for me.
Oh, you want to know what happened? You want to know what happened last night?
Yeah, what happened?
I didn't know about this. I got a terrified call from Haya.
Yeah.
She wanted to. Well, she didn't go on the podcast. She was invited to be there. She didn't go on it.
Yeah.
But it was a Rumble exclusive.
So she went to it, and it was people taking their shirts off and stuff.
Yeah, they're doing things with what?
Green light for free speech on Rumble.
Yeah, I know. But then she basically said she got terrified. She doesn't want. She's, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to watch the show anymore. I told her, it's like, the internet's a crazy place. So don't do that. But again, it's like people that she shouldn't be associating with at the beginning, from my opinion. That the people that were like treating her badly that last time before I talked to her.
Oh.
Yeah, but in that same vein,
that's terrible. I feel bad for her.
Well, I said she's trying to have new friends. I told her, talk to people, get people to know people, do things like that, and whatever. You know what happens. People are stupid.
People are assholes, just like that guy. Just like that guy.
Exactly.
It's terrible. But the one thing I wanted to show is something good now. Because I thought it was adorable. Because remember, in our country right now, a lot of young people that just graduated from high school are on their way to college, right? They're on their way to start a new life, basically, learning, new lifestyle, go to school, try to make good grades, and make their parents proud. So I wanted to share this because I thought it was adorable when I saw it. It says, this school has a tradition of kissing your mom goodbye on the first day of school. And here's all these guys and girls. And these people are all on the campus here holding signs to cheer you on, to give your mom the traditional kiss goodbye because they're in college now. So I'm sure it's turned up, but watch this. This is so great and heartwarming. And I am going to share the links in the chat. So even if you're being macho and you don't want anybody to know him. You're going to copy and share it with your friends because it's so good. It's such a good, heartwarming thing to see this, because anyone that has went to college and you left your mom, the one who's chucked you in at night, cooked your meals, and now you're going out on your own. It's your first chance to break away and basically do your own thing, and without mom. And it makes mom feel good that you guys love her enough to give her a kiss in front of your friends and stuff, or strangers. But here we go. This is school. This is regular school. It's mixed in college and school. Right now. Right now. Oh, I wish there's more of this kind of stuff. We need more of this in our country. Parents that are proud to show that they love their kids. This thing. Oh, I love that. But the thing is, we don't have enough of that. We don't have enough people that aren't ashamed. So I hug my kids, and I kissed my mama and hugged my mom. I remember one time Sandy and I went to visit my mother, and they had this big giant office building in the middle of nowhere because it's in Hillbillyville. And my mom was one of the ones that did a lot of the computer work and stuff like that to help for files and things that they needed. And it was for Tyson, Tyson, the company. And we went to visit my mother at work. I think it was Mother's Day or something. We surprised her, and we were hugging her and gave her kisses, hugs and kiss in public. And then we left, and we had a couple of our kids with us and stuff. And then we went home, and my mom called us that night and said that she had so many people coming to her saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe you kissed your kids in public," stuff like that. So it just goes to show you that a lot of people are ashamed. They think it's terrible that you have an affection for your parent enough to give them a big old hug and stuff, or a kiss on the cheek or whatever. I mean, it's sad that everything you do now is considered perv. If you hug your grandparents or you kiss your grandparent on the forehead or the cheek and you hug them, then you're some kind of freak because you're trying to kiss your grandparents. I mean, it's sad that that's where we've come. I never had anything like that ever happen to me. I was such a lucky kid. Not one stranger ever tried to hurt me, never tried to grab me, never tried to do anything to me. I mean, I lived a great childhood. I had a good childhood. I got bullied at school because I was flat chested and all that stuff. But I had parents that just said, well, my dad just said, just punch him in the nose. That's what my dad always told me to do. But I never did, I just told him to shut up or whatever, or most of the time I just ignored them. And after a while, they finally stopped picking on me. But that's what happens, when you got assholes, that you go to school with, you're going to get picked on because they're probably feel bad about themselves. I mean, I don't know why bullies bully because I'm not a bully, but I'm thankful for the family I had and my upbringing. And it's nice to see all those kids that were out there cheering at the couple different schools that we saw, and all the parents that were happy to be involved in this whole thing, because we need more of that. We need more people that are proud to show that I love my family, I love my kids, and I'm proud of them, because we need more of that after what we've seen happen this week in our own country. people that hate their self and they want to take it out on other people, totally innocent people. And it's sad that that's where we are right now in our country. And I talked about that last night on the after hours. But you know, I don't want to see that happen anymore. I want people to step up to the plate and be parents. Start telling your kids you love them, no matter what mistakes they've made, and that you accept them, and that we can work together and try to get through this problem that we're having, you know, that kind of stuff. So I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, I really don't. That's what, you know, that's something that we all need to think about, what's going on in our towns, and what is it? Is there anything that we can do, you know, to make things better? So I don't know, but okay, let me get this next one up. Oh, this was funny. This is another one that I wanted to show as a little giggle, because today, I think it was yesterday when it happened, but supposedly the vice president was going to some small town, you know, to do a speech or something, and some of the Democrats were going to protest. They had their old protest all set up. Well, they ended up using a different road, so they had to run to try to catch up and you know, make the be able to, you know, not be able to put their signs out there and make the people feel like shit that were in the cars. So it says here, Wisconsin Democrats are furious after Vice President J.D. Vance had his motorcade moved one street over, causing protesters to rush to the other road and forcing them to get more exercise than they'd had in years. Just thought this was funny, so I'll just show you. I think it's great because you can hear them coming. Just give me a second. My internet's slow. Damn it. Sorry.
It's the Arkansas net. It's okay.
No, it sucks.
I mean, you did want to be away from it all, so the fact we have you on broadband is nice.
Yeah, but the fact that they said I have internet is supposed to work. So I don't know what's going on.
It is internet. Hey, Chronos.
Well, I can't even fast forward. Here we go. Here we go. See, this is his motorcade back here going down this road.
Oh my God! I'm so happy to see thousands of these people.
I know, it's just it's pathetic. But this was in Wisconsin where that horrible incident just happened. They sure are happy, aren't they?
Minnesota was where the incident happened.
Oh yeah, Minnesota.
I mean,
what state did this say this was again?
I have no idea. I didn't.
I'll have to go back and look when it gets small again. This was in Wisconsin. I'm sorry, I thought it said Minnesota, but it wasn't. But still, I think it's funny that that's smart though. You know, you do that from now on. If you know they got a whole street cordoned off for a huge protest, tell your people, hey, take us down the next closest street so I don't have to go down that shit.
Yeah, they were probably paid for protests by a Soros family.
Probably. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
but
that's all
so funny.
If I could engineer this country into ruin, I could just get the Democrats to do my bidding. You know, and it's a shame that the Soros men are alive today. It really is. I was hoping I would wake up and they'd be in a barrel put into a fucking, you know, cement trough and buried. Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry.
look, I'm going to go back up to chat a little bit because it's Hard Wiki's in here.
One of the problems I have with this week, Janet, you haven't hit it yet. Are you going to talk about the fucking trans faggot that went on a shooting rampage in Minnesota?
Yeah, we will. We'll talk about that too.
Because
But I got some other things.
I gotta fucking put some stuff on the end of that because he started naming names, his little gay ass manifesto.
Yeah, I know. I talked about all of that last night. I even shared the link to the manifesto showing the video he made.
I don't
through his book.
Yeah, but you know how stupid mainstream media is, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying? What's the one thing they're saying?
I'm not talking about that. I want people.
They only glom onto one thing.
Take the link that I put in there and zoom in and read it for yourself. Okay, because he's talking to his parents, he's talking to a lot of different people in this manifesto. Then he has all the bullets and he's putting them all over the bed and all kinds of stuff. It's his video that he made.
I know. The reason I'm saying
that he got a transition, all this kind of stuff. So it's got some good stuff in it. And yeah, I talked about that last night. But I got a couple other little things in here.
Well, one observation: the mainstream media is saying one thing that everybody is like cringing over, and over again, they say, "She."
Oh, I know.
Mm-hmm. It's a dude.
I never did that. I said him.
I know you did. But that's why I'm done. This is a dude. It's shut the fuck up. Mainstream media. It's a dude. It's if you say you're not looking at reality, you're insane. You will not be, you need to be, lobotomized. You're done. You're not living reality. You're out of it. I'm done.
Okay, well, this is one of the things I wanted to start off with. It says they couldn't have pulled it off without the lying MSM. And this came across my timeline, and I wanted to share it with everybody. And I tried to put them in order, so I'm trying to follow it that way. But here we go.
There's a lot of people worried in the city tonight. This is the great reveal that John Radcliffe was promising, and there's more to come. The important thing about this, Sean, is that it confirms things that we knew, and it gives us things that we did not know. We always knew, not always, but we knew earlier in July 2016, Brennan briefed Obama to say that Hillary Clinton was planning to create a Russian collusion scandal for Trump to distract from her email scandal. He briefed the president on that, and then months later, he played a critical role in overruling CIA analysts and including the Steele dossier. We also know that the Clinton campaign lied to the media, denied they had funded the Steele dossier, and indeed hid that funding as legal expenses by Mark Elias, the general counsel at that time of the Clinton campaign. And all of this required this all-on-deck effort, the government, the campaign, the media. That's why when you see the reaction of the media today, it's clear that no matter what is produced, you can show a dozen heads in a duffel bag and they're still not impressed. And the reason is that for most of the media, this is not coverage. It would be a confession. That is, if they actually cover this story, they are confessing their own role in what may be the greatest political hit job in history.
That's why I named the show what I named it. Basically, the reason we're not going to ever see any of the media going along with any of this stuff, right, is because the media was in on it. And as soon as they start reporting it as fact, that shows that they were in on it and that they helped cover it up. They're the ones that tried to help all of us get fucked over by giving us somebody that we didn't vote for. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I call it the media hit job against Trump, because that's what it is. And remember, I've asked week after week after week after week after week forever, going, why do they not tell the truth? Well, now when I saw that, I went, that's why. Because as soon as they say this, that, and the other, it did happen, they did it. They were in on it. Whether it was the actual person or not, but like, what was it? What's it? Is it Right Side News or whatever now? I played one of their reporters last night, and he said, well, we're going to tell you who the shooter was. We're going to tell you all about the shooter because you deserve to know who the shooter was. We're not going to hide it. Because I remember when it first happened, I sent my sister a text and said, they didn't say anything about him being black or white. So I wonder what that means. That was the first thing that popped in my head. So I knew they were trying to cover something up right away, because if they weren't, they would have said white so-and-so, you see what I mean, right off the bat, but they didn't say that. So I knew something was up. I just didn't know, exactly what it was until it started coming out. But I knew they were already starting the lies right off the bat because they didn't want to, talk about it. But yeah, the media covered up Joe Biden's dementia, then backtracked and started covering it while playing as if they had been innocent. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, they're going to try to do that with a lot of this stuff. But there's so many people now that have cell phones that record all of this shit. So we're going to see more and more and more people just sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing other things. I've seen a couple videos that's come up of different speeches that Obama made in other countries and at colleges and stuff. And they're saying download this and keep it because it's going to be scrubbed off the internet again because it took me forever to find it again, blah, blah, blah. Because that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to go through and get rid of anything that they don't want you to see or have, and try to, cover their tracks the best they can. But they're not going to be able to this time. There's too many of us out there that have been showing, what we have, risking what, getting in trouble or whatever. But, I think it's great. I think that we should share as much as we can, because if we care about what's truthful or not, then we'll want to share the truth. And if it's not true and we find out, we'll go back and say, hey, I'm sorry I shared that. It shouldn't have, because it wasn't factual, whatever. And I've done that a couple times with some of my posts on X. I posted something and then I found out later it was a hoax. I mean, I think it was, you called me, Bruce, left a message saying he's not dead. Who was it that I said somebody was dead on X, and you sent me a text and said he's not dead. Yeah, Clint Eastwood. Okay, because somebody sent it to me in my DM and I saw it and I was like, oh, he died. So I posted it. I didn't even look it up right then like I should have, like I normally would, but I didn't. I just posted it. Bruce texted me and said he's not dead. So I deleted it. But, people make mistakes because we're not perfect. We all make mistakes. But we deserve to know the truth about whether or not it's factual or not. So I'm going to copy that link because I just think it's important that we think about that, because once I saw that, it really made me realize that's why they're never going to tell the truth. They're always going to squeeze around this corner, squeeze around that corner, and kind of duck a little bit and throw some sparkles over there, whatever they can do to keep us from pointing the finger at them. Because they know they've been caught with their pants down, and more stuff.
One of the country's completely fucked up because we elected a half cracker by the name of fucking Barry Soetoro. You all know him as Barack Hussein Obama. All he did was get in office and divide the shit out of the nation, mainly on racial guidelines. We were already divided politically, but he fucking went and cut that wound fresh again. We were doing good. Yeah. We were doing great. We were doing so well. We had TV shows where blacks and whites were living together in harmony. But instead, we had to have the little fucking gay terrorist with the fucking ugly-ass trainee wife. We had to have that happen. And the nation felt fucking guilty because, oh no, we've never had a black president before. And
you know what, though, Bruce, on top of what you're saying, what I didn't understand was I remember growing up watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, okay? And what was it? Bad Boys came out. I was trying to think of all these stars, these black stars that were making lots of money. I mean, Prince was big, Michael Jackson was big, had a bunch of black stand-up comedians that were funny. You had all these hit actors that were black. There was TV shows in Living Color. The two main people that ran the whole show, they were black. I mean, there was tons of blacks, and people were buying their records and paying to go see their movies. And it wasn't just black people. White people were buying tickets. So all this stuff is happening. How can we be so racist? How come everybody's a racist if these people are big stars and selling millions of albums and all this different stuff? If we're all racist, just like, what was his name? The piano playing guy that was gay. What was his name again?
Liberace?
No. The English guy. He was a huge star. I can't remember. Elton John. Elton John was a huge star. Millions and millions of people going to see him in concerts, buying tickets. Straight white men were buying tickets to go see this guy that was a flaming gay guy, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. How can those people all hate gays if they're buying tickets to go see someone they know is gay? That's open about being gay, you know, and same thing with Queen. They knew the lead singer was gay, but people still wanted to go see him because of their talent. We can overlook other people's things if we like what they do, if we enjoy what they're saying, what they're singing, their movies and all that stuff, because we like their acting. We don't care whether they're gay. We don't care if they're black. We don't care any of that stuff. So the fact that all of a sudden this whole country is a bunch of racists that hate black people or hate Hispanic people, all we want is freedom for everyone. We want only legal people to be able to vote for the president or any other thing in our country. We don't want illegals getting, you know, free shit that they haven't earned when we have homeless people that are actual Americans, stuff like that. To me, that's common sense stuff. What is that? Why does that make me a racist or a homophobe or any of these things that they keep calling me, a Nazi? Okay, because I believe in freedom and fairness. You know, if you're paying taxes for stuff, then you should get something for it. Like if you lose your job, you should get a workman's comp. You should be able to get unemployment benefits, but only if you're an American citizen. You know, you were born, raised here or whatever. You know, I don't know. I just think all that stuff is just stupid bullshit. And I just don't understand how that when Obama gets in, all of a sudden we're all racist. And he got voted in twice. Is that why they push the racism so that he get voted in the second time? Because, if you don't vote for him, you're a racist. Not because he's a liberal piece of shit, but because he's black.
You're racist.
I know, that's all I heard over and over and over again. That if you don't like him, you just don't like him because he's black. And I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. Even some friends of mine that were in interracial marriages, okay, and one or the other didn't like Barack, the other one was calling them racist. And I've seen even white people call black people racist that didn't want to vote for.
I heard black people call white people the N-bomb with a hard R. I don't understand.
I just never understood any of it.
Like, that word can set off a fucking riot in Kenosha. Like, your fucking culture is weak as shit if that's exactly all it takes to get you to burn a Wendy's. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, remember what you were talking about earlier about Soros, right?
I can't wait for him to die either. Wait, what? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, but remember, I've heard Trump a few times talking about how if he could, he would arrest some of these people involved in some of the stuff, and how Soros is getting around paying for a bunch of this shit. So how could we get him for it? Well, this gentleman breaks a bunch of this down about how he would go about arresting some of these people and prosecuting them. So I thought this was pretty interesting because he's thinking about using the RICO Act or whatever. So here we go. Let's listen.
Mapping out the other aspects of the corruption, but Trump specifically pointed to RICO because of support for violent protests. And this is something, as a free speech activist and maximalist, I'm very wary of what the counter argument will be, which is that protest activity is protected. And even if protests are large or sometimes get unruly, you should be careful about not going after the right of freedom of speech and the right to protest. But to that, I would like to point the Trump administration to where I believe the RICO case is strongest. And this is when it comes to not just being in the streets and making noise and banging pots and pans, but when it comes to organized criminal activity. And I'm going to play from the Soros-partnered U.S. Institute of Peace that we referenced here. I'm going to play part of a video here from their own video archive, where what they propose is actually this is what they call nonviolent action, and this is what the Soros groups do under the guise of a kind of Gene Sharp color revolution style nonviolent action is what they call it. This protest activity. Now, this is from the U.S. government. This is on the U.S. government's video archive. I'm going to play just this section, and then I'll get you guys' thoughts on this.
Third category of nonviolent tactics is nonviolent intervention. These include such actions as sit-ins, blocking roads, overloading facilities, establishing parallel or alternative institutions, occupying buildings, and acts of civil disobedience, and even deliberately seeking imprisonment.
So this is the U.S. government guide that I have pulled up now. Again, this is produced by our taxpayers. The U.S. Institute of Peace gets $55 million a year from taxpayers and has a mandatory board spot for the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of State. These mandatory board spots to have the head of the State Department and the War Department. And it's created by an act of Congress, funded by the U.S. government, our taxpayer dollars. I have their advanced course on civil resistance. Now, all of the folks involved in this course have been involved in the violent riots of the past decade, from backing the BLM, Summer of Love riots to the ICE riots. And even in their own written guide, they propose that groups blockade roads, blockade shipments, blockade the city. They have an entire training seminar here where they get people to strategize about how to block city intersections and like. So I believe when it comes to RICO, it's one thing. There's no problem with establishing parallel or alternative institutions or being in the streets, being an annoying person. But blocking roads is a violation of the law. And when that is organized and premeditated, that becomes RICO. Occupying federal government buildings. These are the same people who called for 1,000 years in prison for anyone who occupied the Capitol building. And yet they will propose to occupy police buildings or government buildings during the Brett Kavanaugh case. These acts of civil disobedience, all of this stuff, that means legal disobedience, breaking the law. And so I think when we need a full accounting of if a subpoena were to be fired off at the Open Society Institute and Churla in LA with the ICE riots to get their internal documents under court order to see how much of that was premeditated. It's no problem if you want to protest the ICE raids, no problem with that. But the moment you block the I-10 and cut off emergency services and the ability to get mail delivered to people's homes, the moment you do that, that becomes RICO. And this is not an accident. What I've just showed on screen are formal U.S. government guides from the very institute.
So what do you guys think about that so far? I think he's spot on.
Yeah.
Because exactly what he said. And this is we're paying to have that kind of stuff made right here, what's on the screen.
$50 million of our money.
Yeah. Every year.
Along in a wood chipper.
Every year, we're paying these people to train people on how to protest to get what they want from us. And on top of our money, it's also Soros and other people like that are putting money in to get these people to show up. Just like we saw earlier, the people with those signs about being fascists and all this stupid shit, running to try to get over there so they can hold up their sign before the vice president motorcade drove by, But yeah, do you know what though? Have you guys all realized how few of these protests we're seeing since the USAID has been?
Say again, Janet. You cut out. You cut out over here. I'm sorry.
I said, since the USAID has been cut out, how few we've been seeing of all these protests.
Well,
The money is
I don't
gone.
want to see any. I mean, I want it exercised. I want it gone.
Yeah, I don't want to see any either. But what I'm saying is, we already can tell already that these people weren't just getting off their couch and all pissed off, like me. I would take my Trump pictures or whatever I want, because somebody was getting on to me earlier today for, me being a Trump supporter, but they were Canadian. So, Canada doesn't like Trump because he was going to make them the 51st state, and I was like, he was trolling your ass. But they don't understand. They just don't understand how Trump does things and how what his personality is. Okay, which is fine. And I just said, oh well, I got my own opinion. I can like whoever I like, and I don't tell you can't like whoever it is you like. So who cares? But it's funny to see how the left only does things like these protest stuff because they're getting this. That's it. Where is it? Where are all the bleeding hearts? For all these people were out the other day saying, "Oh, praying doesn't help. If God really cared, they never would have got shot." And stuff like that. That's the kind of shit these people say.
I'm going to believe a redhead ginger on fucking MSNBC. Sure, whenever she says your spirituality is whatever she might say. I mean, literally, she's been evicted from her job. Mm-hmm. She has no power here. That's and then okay, so she's gonna mock the God I've got. I already know what type of garbage, and I know what variety of garbage she is. Mm-hmm. So anything that falls out of her mouth, I can't even put money to it because it's gonna be wasted.
Yeah, but I really think this he knows exactly what he's talking about, and I hope that somebody's paying attention, watching some of these podcasters and other people that are talking about this, because I really think he's got something here, and I hope to God a lot of the lawyers and stuff that are helping Trump get some of this stuff out is listening and paying attention.
Partnered with the Soros Open Society Institute on instructions to do it and training scenarios for how to do it. So we know these groups did it. There's just never been a court-ordered subpoena to actually force them to turn over these documents or to bring the case. And I believe this is where the magic is when you get to this sort of organizational planning. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, anything that you can do to push back on this kind of behavior. The government shouldn't be instructing people on how to basically to protest or inhibit, what other citizens are doing to live their lives, right? Like if you're talking about blocking highways and stuff like that, people have to live their lives. And in the United States, you're free to say, I don't want anything to do with your protest. And the fact that the government is helping to instruct protesters, probably paying money, but helping to instruct protesters in how to do nonviolent protests, which will harm their fellow citizens, right? Like whether it be making people late and possibly losing the job, or you got someone trying to go to the hospital and they're preventing people from getting through, whatever it may be, people have the right to decide to not be involved in your
I want to jump in on this for a second too. The fact, like we were talking about earlier, if you go into a store to buy something and people come in and push you out of the way to steal, okay, to fill their bags with shit and leave, right? They're infringing on your rights to be able to purchase items from the store. They pushed you out of the way, they manhandled you or whatever. They infringed on you, okay? Same thing when that person goes in and they're throwing a fit because you said, excuse me, sir, when they're supposed to be dressed as a woman, and then they throw a tantrum and they start throwing shit at you and pushing you out of the way or whatever else. Anybody that pushes their point of view on you, you should have the same right to do to them. but they shouldn't have that right in the first place. Just like he's saying, if they're blocking a road and keeping regular everyday people from going to pick up their kid at school, even if it's not a life or death situation, the fact that I can't go grocery shopping, or I can't go to the eye doctor, or I can't, go get gas for my car or fill up my butane tank for my party that I'm having tonight, for my barbecue, is my rights are being stopped because these people are in the road instead of on the sidewalk. Because see, I thought when you had a protest, you had to go and get a license, to protest where you were going to be protesting in case the cops need to be there to make sure that nothing happens or whatever. I don't know. I've always been told you had to have a permit. But if you can just go stand in the road, and they're doing it, and then you have all these Democrats are standing out there saying, go get in their face, go bother them while they're eating lunch, go do this, go do that. They're inciting you, the people, to go and do stuff because they'll get in trouble if they do it. Well, maybe, but all of that's wrong. All of that's wrong. It's infringing on other people, just like what he was saying. And I think it's bullshit. And the fact that we're paying to train these people to infringe on other people's rights, I think is ridiculous. And that whole thing should be gone. That should no longer be legal to be able to take my money out of my purse and pay other people to train people how to infringe on my rights. That's just ridiculous.
Yes. And the fact that the government is funding this kind of stuff, telling people how to frustrate your fellow citizens' lives, is absolutely abhorrent, and it should be stripped from the government, and any kind of criminal charges that can be brought up, I think they should do it.
I don't view blocking the free movement of people as nonviolent, right? Like, that alone is a fallacy.
Well, what's amazing is so this instructor here, Maria Stefan, who founded the U.S. Institute, or she was the head of the program on nonviolent action at the U.S. Institute of Peace. She's on record saying that they've cleverly defined the term non-action to specifically exclude property damage from the definition.
Yeah, insane.
So she's asked her opinion about the book, How to Blow Up a Pipeline, and whether or not it's okay to blow up pipelines. And she argues that technically it's okay because under our definition of nonviolent action, property damage is not included.
That's convenient.
Yes, right. So these are the same people. But that sort of thing is RICO. And one RICO case on this network would make 200 other actors in the network never want to do this sort of thing again. And so I completely support the Trump administration's pursuit of it. And I think this is the answer. You get to these deliberate law-breaking sides of it. You go after the organizers, the main institutional cells. You force them under oath to testify and turn over documents in discovery. And I think that would break the whole thing open. But let's move on to.
I think everything he said was spot on, and I'm praying that this administration uses whatever they have to prosecute these people. And I also hope that whoever's in charge can stop this website. These people shouldn't be able to be getting our money. You know what I mean? Our tax dollars to pay to teach people how to infringe on our rights. It just sucks. I mean, it's just, I'm thankful though, because I've never seen a president that's so transparent as the one we have right now. Every single thing that I'm learning just since president's been in office, and a little bit before, because more and more people were gathering information and trying to share it. But to see a president that every time he signs an executive order, he's got tons of people there, and he's talking about why he's signing it, what it's going to happen when he signs it, all those different things. I love it. And I'm praying that the people watching this as it's unfolding for these next 4 years won't want to go back to a person that's in their basement of the White House doing whatever and accept that anymore. Because the people, we're supposed to be America. The people are the people are the ones that should be making the decisions. And if we are just say, oh, well, he's going to go down the basement, we shouldn't know about that stuff anyways, then you're just as bad. You might as well just take your wallet and hand it to him every time you get a paycheck, because you're too dumb to have your own money. If you think that we should go back to that kind of crap. I want a government that's going to tell me what they're doing with my money and why it's taken so long for my road down the street that's had potholes for 15 years. Why I can't get that road fixed? Why can't my mayor fix our road? But man, his road looks really good near his house, that kind of thing. I want to see where all the stuff's going in my state and in the United States. I'd like to know where all our tax dollars are, taking it out of our checks. What are they doing with it besides paying our soldiers to protect our borders and stuff like that? But I think it's a legitimate question to have answered. And we have a president that's doing it right now. And hopefully his VP, Tulsi Gabbard, and all the other ones that are working for him to help him get all this stuff out in the open, declassifying all these documents, all this stuff, they're going to be ready to step in next and step in where Trump left off and keep doing this, because our kids, the ones that are graduating from high school and stuff now, about to go to college, they need to see it. They need to see what transparency is compared to what we had with coma in chief in the basement using an auto pen to just do whatever, spend money and send it all to Ukraine or whatever else, and let people be homeless and live in the streets, bunch of drug addicts. And it's just been terrible. It's been horrible. And everything's hush, 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 classify everything, because it was all criminal action. And I just hope that all of this causes the young people to demand transparency. I want to see what my government's doing. I want to know what they're doing. Why are they taking this much money out of my check? I mean, when you first get that check, the very first check you get, and it says FICA on it, and you're like, who the hell is that? Why?
When I was doing my work.
So, I just hope that we don't go back to it and just get back in the comatose state and get back in there and the coffin and just lay there and let whatever they're going to do it. It's the matrix. That's it, basically, because that's what we're in. We're in the matrix, and someone's trying to wake us up, take us out. They're unplugging us one at a time, putting us out in the street saying, okay, this is reality. You say, what can we do with it? And we need to wake up more people. And that's what basically we're trying to do. And it's happening. It's just that we've got to see somebody punished for all this shit. We need it. The American people deserve to see some kind of justice, even if it takes 5-6 years. As long as we see it, the squeaky wheel moving a little, and we're seeing that there more and more people are on the side of justice, and that keeps growing, it's going to help. I think it's going to really help our country. I really do. And it's bringing new hope to some of the younger people that kind of just thought, So I'm hoping that they're realizing, because I'm seeing more and more young people speaking out about, wanting to have a chance to buy a house one day, and be able to have a decent job and things like that, when right now they don't have any choice. There's nothing they can do about it. So hopefully.
It's been an hour tonight filling out paperwork for my first mortgage.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for you. So
Hope it goes through.
let's hope it all works out. I hope. Okay, now this is another thing that I've came across my timeline. It's not really has to do with a lot of this other stuff, but it does have to do with the COVID stuff, things like that. So I've got a mixture of stuff in it, but all of this stuff is coming out, more and more each week, stuff with, Robert Kennedy Jr. and you got all, Tulsi Gabbard coming out. You got Kash Patel. You got, all of these people and Trump all talking about these different things that are going on. And I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of all of it, if I can, as long as I can find good stuff that, lets us hear that. Like, you guys didn't know anything about that, did you? About what I just showed you, the RICO stuff?
No.
That point of view? I see it's important that we get to see different points of view like this, because you start thinking, man, that's a great idea.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Vivek.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like Vivek that much, but that's been building for a while, and everything I'm seeing with him, he's not bad. It's just he's not good for America either, and that's just how I view him. He's of that class or type, and he works a lot of nepotism. He is a billionaire from his businesses, but there's a lot of nepotism in his organizations and in the work that he's started. So, not really super fan of Vivek.
Well, a lot of people aren't. And there's a lot of people right now. Remember when Trump was first picking his cabinet, boy, people are left and right. They're wanting to throw all these people under the bus. I can't stand this person. I can't stand that. And I said, what did I say? I said, I'm going to give him 1 year with all the people that he's chose to see what they do. Let's see what happens. Let this unfold, because you got to remember, there is so much shit, so many piles of shit that they're having to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig through to find out where's the shit and where's the diamonds. Where's the shit and where's
I mean, just the stuff you got to figure out and sift out because of the what do you call that? The various things that Biden set up in his NGOs and Obama puppeteering his entire move set. Us having to unbury all the facts and then trying to discern, okay, what exactly was factual? What do we have that we can exploit? Can we get in a position where Obama and Biden could be in jail? And I really like the idea of that, mainly for the fact that I've hated Obama since I've known about him, and he ruined the fucking country, and then he put the senile old faggot in office, and I really I can't stand it. I want both of them incarcerated. I want them to be next to the Illinois governors in prison, because Illinois has a proud tradition where they do a governor term and then they go to a prison term. Sorry.
Well, it's all right. This is somebody's talking about how vaccines are made and some other things like that, all scientific stuff. But I think it's very important for you guys to understand a little bit more about as the COVID stuff starts coming out, because more and more stuff's coming out about it. And people are mad right now because I saw another interview with our press secretary, and they were asking why Trump is letting the vaccine still come out. These new supposedly they got 4 new vaccines coming out, and that Trump's not going to stop people from getting it. He said some people want these vaccines, and if they want it, they have the right to get it if that's what they want. It's between them and their doctors. That's what Trump and the press secretary said. Now, I'm not going to get it. I didn't get the first ones. I didn't get any of that stuff. But as more and more stuff comes out, then it's going to be done probably through the courts, just like everything else is done. People have to realize Trump is not a king. Trump is not a dictator. Okay. Trump is trying to do it legally. Everything he's trying to do is through EOs, but a lot of these executive orders, I feel, need to be made into law. But that's up to Congress. You see what I mean? A lot of this stuff is not, Trump isn't able to do anything about it. He can talk about it and bring it up to the Congress and say, we need to have this, that, and the other, but he can't really do anything. He can't make it permanent, right? The next president that comes in can just write an EO and get rid of it.
Yep.
That's how simple it is. That's why we need to pressure Congress and people from our state to make sure they step up and start doing what they're supposed to do, is help Trump be more successful. If it's a good thing, let's get it. I mean, look at, he's got this group of people right now working on the USAID stuff, right? And they're going through each single thing that they've found, and they're getting rid of it. They're taking the money out, but you got to remember, it's got to be done the right way legally, because this money was given to this group through Congress. Congress is allowed spend our money. That's what their job is. Okay. They take our taxes and then they spend it to protect our borders, to fund different things, our parks, or whatever else that they're going to do.
Taxes? What are taxes?
Yeah.
What is that word?
If USAID said, oh, we need this money to do this, that, and the other, and Congress approved it, then it's got to go through the legal way of having it disapproved and then taken off the board, get rid of it completely. So it's got to be done legal. And what was it? I'm trying to remember. I'm so bad with all these names of people, but Trump just appointed someone else to get rid of it, finish off the whole USAID mess. And I can't remember his name, but I'm sure someone will remember, but I'm just terrible with that because I didn't keep it for this. But I want you guys to listen to this. I think it's like 5 minutes long. It's an interview with this gentleman, and he's a scientist basically. And he's going to explain how vaccines are made and how they're tested and all this different stuff, depending on the type of vaccine they're going to make. But I want you to watch his face, because when he starts talking about part of this that's coming up, you're going to see that he's very uncomfortable. He does not like talking about any of it. So I don't know if all I know is it made me very uncomfortable too to listen to what he was saying. But I'm so thankful that I didn't go through with it, didn't get the shot. But I'm going to play this so you guys can listen to it. And if you don't want to listen to it, if it's too much for you, you can get up and walk away because it's like 5 minutes. But I think everybody should see it. And I'm going to share this link in the chat for anybody else who wants to look into this and research it a little more. But here we go.
Let me explain to you why some people oppose the MMR vaccine. In every single dose of an MMR shot, there are literally millions of pieces from the cultured cell line of an aborted fetus in every single injection. Now, again, that might sound crazy, but I could literally pull up right now the CDC's own ingredient list for the MMR vaccine. Anybody can do this at home. Just Google vaccine excipient list, CDC, and you can pull it up and you can see it has MRC5, WI38. Those are cultured cell lines from aborted fetus, because you have to grow viruses in a cell. Viruses won't just grow. They have to grow in cells. That's how they replicate. They take over the machinery of a cell. So you have to grow it on a cellular substrate. So how do they grow the rubella virus? They grow it on these cultured cell lines from aborted fetus.
Where do they get aborted fetuses?
From babies that are aborted.
From abortion clinics.
It has to be. You can't use. So the cells need to be alive. Okay. So you understand, like, the aborted fetal tissues has to remain alive to be used. And so, I deposed, for example, the world's leading vaccinologist, Dr. Stanley Plotkin. And that deposition is actually available on thehighwire.com. The whole deposition, 9 hours, is available there. Okay.
Parts of it are available on X, and
yes,
I watched part of it in preparation for this interview, and was, so shocked and revolted by it. I was already on your side, obviously, as a parent of a child who was vaccine injured. So I'm in tune with everything you're saying. But that deposition with Dr. Stanley Plotkin, who's still alive, 93, I checked, was one of the most shocking things I've ever seen in my life.
You watched the whole thing?
No, I watched selections of it.
Okay, yeah. And so then about what the clip I'm about to talk about, which is relating to just one study that was done that involved over 70 normal, healthy fetuses, right? There was nothing wrong, no abnormalities that were aborted for the purposes of this one study. I mean,
past the first trimester.
So do you hear that, Bruce? Okay. Because when they're making some of these things, they have to inject their stuff into a living cell. So they can't take a bunch of stuff that's from the hospital from the aborted fetuses. They have to have the baby aborted right there so that they can perform their tests on it while its cells are still alive. So these are perfectly normal babies that they're aborting just to make vaccines. Just think about that.
Yeah.
And how many people out here, in the regular world, if they would have said, well, this vaccine has living baby aborted cells in it to make it, would you still want to inject yourself with it if it's against your religion, your thoughts? But see, did anybody tell you any of that stuff? No, they didn't tell us shit. Just like what I told you, why I didn't get it. The reason I didn't get it wasn't because I knew what was in it. It's because I didn't know what was in it. My allergy doctor said, I don't recommend you get it because we don't know what's in it. I'm allergic to ibuprofen, for God's sake. So you inject a bunch of shit.
Not allergic to.
I could die.
Wait, don't say that. We'll I don't know HIPAA. No HIPAA.
But yeah, it's sad. This whole thing is sad. But the more this stuff that comes out, and this is Tucker. This isn't some quack, somewhere out here. And he watched a bunch of stuff. He said from this other scientist, the one that's in his 90s, beforehand to prepare for this interview he did. But did you see, if you watch this young man as he's talking about it, he is very uncomfortable having to talk about it being live. They have to be living cells. Mm-hmm. So the woman that aborted the child was in on it for whatever reasons. And then all the people that are standing around waiting for the thing to come out. So now it's going to get really entertaining. So if you don't want to watch it, you need to step away.
But they're all older than 3 months, he said.
That's right. And some of them, absolutely. And what they do is they take those, in that one study, those 70-something babies, and they then they chop them up into little each body part. So they take the tongue, the lung, the liver, every body part, and they chop them up into little cubes. And then they try to culture viruses on them because they want to see which part of the body is the best suited for growing the virus used in the vaccine. And so this is, in any event, and there's a lot, anybody who wants can research about this.
So this is answering the question, why is this a religion for some people? There's some heavy stuff going on.
You mean for folks who don't want to receive the vaccine?
No. For people who support them.
Well, you have to
human sacrifice quality here. Sorry, that was my takeaway from that interview, and I think you actually asked him, "Are you an atheist?" Yes, I am.
Yes. Well, the case was about a religious belief that our client had, contrary to the practice of vaccination. They didn't want to vaccinate her kid, and he decided to volunteer for reasons I'll never understand to be an expert. And he came to the deposition. He didn't come to trial. He did not show up for trial. We even sent him a subpoena ducis tecum after the deposition. If you ever see the deposition, he says, "Oh, well, there is this or there's that." And so I sent him a document request saying, "Hey, you said there's this and that. Give it to us." And then he brought a collateral lawsuit to quash that subpoena, believe it or not, because he did not want to give, because they don't have it. It doesn't exist. Just like this polio petition. It's not, I don't ask for things, we do, I try to do my homework beforehand. In any event,
this vaccines are grown with the cells of aborted baby tongues.
Well, no. Well, let me be clear about that. In that study, they were trying to figure out which body part was best to use. So the one that they ended up with was actually from the lung of the aborted baby. Aborted fetus. So it's lung fibroblasts are the where the cells the substrate that ended up working. So they tried with tongue, it didn't work as well. And there's a number of qualities they're looking for. How well does the virus replicate? Are there other potential, viruses back, and so forth and so forth. Well, what's the best medium to do it in? And so there's.
But you said that the cells have to be alive. So where do the bodies come from? Do we know?
When the baby is aborted for the purposes, and they're typically aborted for the scientific purpose, right? They have to know beforehand for the most part, because if they abort the baby and they don't immediately act to make sure that the tissues don't die, then you can't use them in these experiments. So, and this is. I'm
about as uncomfortable as I've ever been in an interview right now. This is like really beyond that this happens.
Okay, I just wanted you guys to see that because I'm going to share that link in the chat again. I did it earlier, but the thing is is that so much stuff is coming out that has been swept under the rug for so many people that you didn't know. Nobody knew about some of this stuff. It's totally against a lot of people's religion. And just like what Tucker said, he's very uncomfortable. But he admitted right then that he has a child that's vaccine injured. Okay. And he doesn't believe in God. Apparently, that's what he said. I don't know what that word is for someone who doesn't believe in God. I forgot. He said what it was, but so he's not feeling the way he does because he's religious. He's feeling that way because he just thinks it's not a good thing, that we shouldn't do this kind of stuff for this. But see, you had to be standing right there hovering over the person and be ready to take it and start chopping it up so you can put the stuff on the slides and do whatever. And a lot of people just can't understand that. They just, because they don't want to. See, as soon as you understand and your eyes are open, that means you can't get back in bed and close your eyes and never think about it. See, you're out of the matrix, you're unplugged, and now you're seeing what reality really is. And a lot of people just want to get plugged back in. They just don't want to know. Atheist. Okay, that's the word. He said he was something. I can't remember because I was too busy thinking about this other stuff when I watched it. But I don't remember. I thought that's what he said. I thought he said he was an atheist, but I don't know. I don't remember. But it's to me, it's heartbreaking that people didn't know the truth about it. You see what I mean? We weren't told the truth. We were denied access to the truth. Just like Obama's birth certificate, all his files he had sealed after he became president, so nobody could look it up. You know, it's all archived or whatever, put up so nobody can see it at all. Now, it probably won't even be in his own library that they're building for him right now. A huge one, ginormous library.
That piece of shit tower in South Chicago. It's going to be a prayer call center. Probably
something like that. But
have you seen it? Have you seen it?
I've seen some of the building. Yeah, them working on it.
It looks like the ugliest, most brutal architecture that could ever be put in Illinois.
Sterile.
They made it very ugly.
Yeah, it's very sterile. Like it.
It'll cause vaginal dryness.
Probably, but yeah, it's just. I'm hurt more because you can't do anything about what happened in the past. I mean, I can't bring any of that back or anything like that. But I feel bad for all the people that are waking up and seeing that what all this truth coming out and knowing that they were duped into it, without being told anything. See, I was lucky. I had a doctor that told me don't get it. I actually had a doctor. My doctor was telling me don't do it. We don't know what's in it. It's not worth risking. You're healthy. You're not having any problems. There's no reason for us to jump overboard and get you all sicker because we give you a shot of something we don't even know what's in it. That type of thing. So I was lucky. I tell people that all the time. I feel so blessed. I was so lucky to have people around me, the right people around me, to keep me from making a bad decision. I just wish more people were able to have that, especially when you looked at your doctor and your doctor says, yeah, let's get you all taken care of. And they probably didn't even know, because if my doctor didn't even know, he's an allergy doctor. Okay, he makes serum in his office. He's tested for people. They have to sit in there for 30 minutes or longer after they get their shot in case they have anaphylactic shock. That's his job. And they gave him this stuff with nothing written on it. There's no proof of what's in that. How is he supposed to give that to his patients? And then you have a doctor, your physical doctor, and he's sitting there jabbing people, or his nurses are, and he doesn't even know what's in the stuff. See, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. So then you had the doctor, like I showed a couple of weeks ago, the doctor that was going to trial because he injected all his patients with saline solution, told him he was giving them the jab because he couldn't. He didn't want any of his patients to suffer because he didn't know what was in that stuff. He didn't trust it. And he got, he didn't go to prison, thank goodness. He got acquitted or whatever for it. But it's sad that this is the United States of America, and all this stuff is going on. This is like we live in China or something. This isn't freedom. This isn't how I grew up, with the wide-eyed, putting my hand over the heart and watching the flag go up every morning on base. I grew up with that, thinking that that's America, that we fight for freedom for everyone around the world, all this stuff. I had all these feelings, and this last couple of years, I'm like going, what the fuck? Where do I fucking live? This is not the country I thought it was. I'm beside myself on a lot of it. And I know I'm not the only one. I know other people feel the same way I do. They have to. That you're looking around going, what the, all this shit. But I was saying this before other people were saying it, because I would tell them stuff and they'd say, oh, that's stupid. That's not real. They still look at me like that. Some of them just tell me, they just roll their eyes at me and shit. So as it comes out, some of these people hopefully will wake up. But just like that one video I played a while ago, the guy said they could be shown a duffel bag with a bunch of heads in it, and they're still going to go, So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that I'm compelled to try to do my part, which is to try to get as much information to other people as I can. But I have my own family, my own sisters that just kind of like, they're not interested. And I don't understand where that comes from. I mean, they were raised by the same parents. We lived in the same house. I just don't understand how some people can be so not interested in knowing about all the truth that's coming out. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have people like that in your family or not. You know what I mean?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you guys yeah, remember our Congress, wasn't it our Congress that gave all of these companies some kind of law or whatever that we can't sue them? They can't hold them accountable. So, how many people voted for that? And if they voted on something like that, wouldn't they have facts laying in front of them about what was in the vaccine, who it was tested on, all that stuff before they voted to say that we can't sue them? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just have no clue. But the thing is, this is part of our history now. And as more and more comes out, hopefully it will actually be in history books, and they'll be teaching people in the future what not to do and how not to do this kind of shit. And how not to steal elections, or how to do a lot of the things that we're finding out about, because slowly stuff's coming out. But so did you guys know anything? You guys didn't know anything about that? What Tucker had on this thing? See,
I've been focused on something else this week.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm trying to say, is that we all have jobs. Okay. We all are busy. We have families, parents that we might have to be taking care of, pets that we are taking care of, extra things that we have to do outside of our regular job to do other things because we have responsibilities and things like that. So we're not seeing a lot of these things. And the only reason I'm seeing some of these things that I've been able to find is because I'm doing this show. So I'm looking for stuff. People send me things because they know, hey, this might be interesting to talk about on the shit show, blah, blah, blah. I'm lucky to have that, because there's a lot of this shit. I'm like, what the? I'm watching some of this stuff and I'm shocked by it, but I'm thankful for it, because if I hadn't decided to do this, I hadn't met Bruce, or any of this stuff hadn't happened, I wouldn't even be doing this. See? So for whatever reason, I'm in this position to be able to do it. I have to do what I feel is right by sharing as much of it as I could possibly share, and let everybody that gets the links and stuff look into it, read about it, share it with other people, things like that, as much as I can, because I feel like there's a reason behind it. I mean, you know, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just a, a person trying to deal with it just like everybody else. But I want to know the truth, and I'm sure that most everybody out here does. It's just that sometimes the truth is more than what we really wanted to know, and then we just have to deal with it. We just have to deal with it. But it's not always easy to deal with some of the stuff that we end up getting. But I'm glad that I'm learning some of this stuff. But hold on, let me see what this next thing is. Let me see if it's the right thing. Let's see. Okay, here's another one I thought was pretty interesting. So let me pull this one up. So I tried to do them all in a specific order. Okay, this is another doctor about genomes and gene therapy and all that kind of stuff. Being interviewed. So I can't remember what his name is. So hold on. This was it's called Full Measure is the name of her show. But I'll just play it because I can't remember his name. Maybe she'll mention it in here. It's 4.5 minutes. So here we go.
So DNA is an information storage system.
Yes.
And it also is an application that can tell things to happen in your body.
Thank you, Terminal Vigilance.
To make certain proteins. It can instruct your cells to grow uncontrollably. Oftentimes cancers are a genetic aberration that occurs, a mutation of some sort. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to be bombarding your genome with random mutations. And that's our fear of what could be going on with these vaccines, that the moment you start including DNA in these vaccines, particularly DNA that has sequences that instruct it to go to the nucleus and make a change, you're running the risk of the vaccines causing cancer.
The RNA vaccines, the RNA part of it was supposed to give a temporary instruction to your body.
Yes.
And it's not doing that.
And they told you to last, 48 hours, right? And now the papers that have come out are showing detection out to 60 days. From the Rolchen paper, we have the Krausen paper showing it out in 30 days in the heart tissue. People are finding it in placentas. People are finding it in breast milk. People are finding it in plasma 28 days later. So there's this persistence problem that no one seems to understand or predict.
So something is staying in your body that is continuing, presumably, to give instructions far beyond what we thought.
Yes.
Make spike protein.
Right.
So what should people be concerned about with what you found? If someone's had COVID vaccines, what would be their concern?
I would keep an eye on if any of your family members come down with an unexplained cancer, get a pathologist involved to get a slide or a sample so that the people who are studying this can begin to look for whether there's vaccine sequence in there. So we have a person who had 4 Pfizer vaccines. And then a year after that came down with a colon cancer, and there were 3 biopsies taken, 2 before death and 1 after. The person died of this diagnosis within 30 days. Those samples were then, we used a tool called PCR to look for the Pfizer's vaccine sequence, and then resorted to a process known as voluminous sequencing to sequence the tissue to see if there's any Pfizer sequence in there, and there is. And shockingly, there's a lot of it, and that was not expected. The only way that happens is if it got into the cells and amplified and started replicating.
Does it imply that it caused the cancer, or just the fact that it was present in the cancer is concerning because it's in the body?
Yes, it's a good question. We can't nail causality from the data we have, but it is certainly a concern when you see a sequence like that. So there are mechanisms where this could be playing a role in cancer. So the reason we'd like to get this message out is that I think too many of these tumor biopsies are getting thrown away and the evidence is disappearing. And it's important for folks going through that process to try to retain the biopsies if they can, so that we can go back and see if this is in fact the case.
And what are you all cumulatively learning or expect to learn in the coming year or two about all of this?
Well, we want to understand how long does this stuff last in patients, because this DNA was not consented to, we didn't expect it, so now there's a new question of how long does it last. We've already seen papers come out showing that they can detect nucleic acid in placentas, and there was vaccine nucleic acid in those. So these mothers, unfortunately, I believe, were forced vaccinated for the birthing center. So we don't really know how long it lasts in placenta, and if it's in placenta, it's probably getting into the newborn. So there's an ongoing question in the whole field of where is this vaccine going, how long is it lasting, and what is its contribution to disease? And we have to track the molecules of DNA and RNA to sort that out.
Are you surprised if the government isn't doing this kind of tracking? Because it would seem a natural thing that they'd want to have to answer.
Well, that would be that would be a normal consideration. But in the peak of the pandemic, there was an enormous amount of revenue coming in to our government agencies, which leads me to believe they were not motivated to look for hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin or alternative tools that might treat coronavirus. They wanted the vaccine to be the only solution because that's what lined their pockets.
Many establishment scientific authorities acknowledge the DNA discovered in COVID vaccines, but they say the amounts are too low to pose a risk.
Do you believe it?
No. I don't. That's why I think it's so important that more and more people are able to collect this data. And remember when RFK Jr. Got in there, he set up that website for people to submit their vaccine injury information and as much of the actual documents they had or any other tests that they had done, that kind of stuff, to so they could get those records and start doing studies on the different things that happened to these people so that they can find out, what happened and why it happened. Okay. And I don't know. I'm just, I'm hoping that more and more data gets collected and something can be done, because if anybody, just like I said earlier about the whole transgender thing, if a doctor knowingly does surgery on someone, which he knows is doing damage instead of helping.
That's in violation of the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah, it goes totally against everything that being a doctor is supposed to be. It's just like a psychiatrist. And I have seen that somewhere. I was trying to find it today, but I can't remember the names of the people. I'm so bad with remembering names. I can see their face and I'll always remember that face, but I can't put the name with the face. That's what sucks. But there was some psychiatrists that were arrested. This was years ago. I think it was in the late 80s, maybe, they were using them being psychiatrists to be able to get people to do stuff for them, the patients, to steal and do a whole bunches of things. They were using the patients' illnesses to get them to do things. They were like slaves, making slaves out of these people. And I'll have to look it up, but I just remember that. And I just thought, wow, and those people got arrested for it. So if a psychiatrist can talk you into killing yourself or killing your spouse or whatever else, to get rid of the other one, that kind of stuff. But now they're talking to these people, like this whole thing in Butler. Someone had asked me the other day about the whole assassination attempt on President Trump, that we haven't got to the bottom of that yet. And I said, well, maybe it's because it's still an open case. I said, did you guys see when Trump brought all those people to the White House and he happens to have them in a room with that picture at the end of the wall, at the end of the table, and he points it out to everybody like he was trying to show someone that, hey,
gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, we know that you guys were involved in trying to have me assassinated, that type of thing. And that sounded just like something that Trump would do, because that's what Trump does. He's that kind of person. So I think they know more than that we know. And it should be that way, because when you're doing an investigation, you can't put all your stuff out on the table, because then the bad guys know exactly what your plan is. So, I'm talking about, I want transparency, but I want it after the fact. Like, let's say if he's planning on bombing somewhere, or they're going to arrest someone, or they're going to do something like that, I don't want him to keep them from being able to do their job and do it safely and not injure soldiers or agents or whatever else. But when it comes to something like what we were talking about a little while ago, that's totally different. Before they give it to me, I should know what's in it. It's just like you go and you order something to eat at a restaurant, and then when you get done, they say, well, we ran out of chicken, so we fed you some cat. That's what we had in the freezer. We didn't know
that you wanted more chicken. We just gave you more meat from the stack. We had excess kitty from dumpster. It was chasing rat. And so we had a large trap, got both of them. And now you fed and hungry no more.
Yeah.
And that tastes like chicken.
Well, all I know is that, you know, we have the right, if we're paying for a meal, we're paying the doctor to keep us healthy, we have the right to know what the plan is. You know, like if you're unconscious and you're in the getting ready to go in there and have surgery, let's say you're going to have I don't know, your not your kidney, but like your something that's outpatient, you know, a colonoscopy. You're unconscious, and then they're looking at your record, and it says, "Oh, they haven't had this vaccine yet. Let's give it to them." They shouldn't be able to do that either. While you're unconscious, you're not awake to say, "Yeah, go ahead and give me the shot. I haven't had that one yet." See what I mean? That's wrong for them to do anything like that against your will, because that is against your will. You didn't know that they were going to do it. So to me, all that kind of stuff is should be illegal, and they shouldn't have the right to do that. Okay, now I'm going into the whole thing about the truck drivers, that part of it. So I'm gonna start talking about that kind of stuff. Okay, so this is the next one. I think I've got 3 different stories that kind of progress to go together. But it says this guy just posted this and said, "I think it's time to start fining Amazon for hiring this garbage as independent contractors." So here we go. This is a guy confronting this truck driver, and I thought it was interesting. Here we go.
Are you the driver of the Amazon truck? Are you the driver of the Amazon truck? What the fuck I should tell you? Dude, don't come too close to me. Why? Dude, I'll fuck you up. You come too close to me. I'll fuck you up. You're not big enough. Get fucked. Get fucked, dude. You're not big enough. Yeah, fuck you too, you fucking twat. I'm not the one that wedged a big lorry under a railway bridge, am I? Asshole. Fucking bastard. Yeah, piss off.
See, this is in another country. They're having the same problems. And that is a country that also has Amazon. Okay. So you got a big company like Amazon that's hiring these people that can't even speak the language of the country that they're working in. Okay. I just wanted you guys to see that it's not just here. Okay. All this stuff that we've been talking about tonight is not just in the United States. It affects us because it's in the United States and this is where we live. And we have to work on trying to help change it here. But remember, if it's in another country, eventually, sooner or later, it's going to come to ours. Okay. So I'm liking that I'm starting to get videos from other countries too, showing us that we're not alone. So we need to keep an eye on that, because if they get a case and they're able to get it in court, and the company Amazon or whatever, any of these companies, Pfizer or whatever, get in trouble over there, then we have precedent, hopefully, to be able to use that over here for our own, needs, because then we have something to fall back on to bring into court and say, see, they did this and this is how they did it, blah, blah, blah. I think that's great. But that right there, I just wanted you to see that, because it is happening in these other countries, not just us. But here is another one that I wanted to bring up. I thought this is pretty interesting. I've played this guy a few times. I think he's on TikTok and Instagram. So I wanted to show you this. It says, alert, recruitment fraud, job scam warning. The scam goes beyond trucking into corporate America. So that's another reason why I think it's important, because you got to remember, what did I say a couple weeks back after that accident happened, that the companies that hire these people, knowing they can't speak English, we need to hold them accountable. They are just as responsible for killing people as the driver of that truck, because they knowingly hired someone that shouldn't even have a truck. You know what I mean? They're handing keys over to a drunk, basically. They can't control a vehicle that weighs thousands and thousands of pounds. So here we go.
You thought it was just truck drivers? The scam runs deeper. Corporate America is full of it. I've been getting DMs left and right from hiring managers, from HR people. Middle Eastern people get into high ranking HR positions or recruitment positions, and then they only refer when a hiring manager tells them, hey, I need a candidate to meet this position. They get presented only with Middle Eastern resumes. You're absolutely right. And then you wonder why Americans can't get jobs in corporate America, why they get ghosted, why they don't get interviews. There's a scam being run. It goes as far as there's a staffing company. The recruiter works here. The hiring manager says, hey, I need a candidate. She tells the staffing company, okay, we need candidates. The resumes come over from the staffing company. The recruiter puts them in front of the hiring managers. Here, these are all qualified people. And it goes further. There's two different people, is what I'm being told from the hiring managers. The one on paper that's qualified, that meets all the needs of that hiring manager, and then the person that's sitting in front of them or on screen getting interviewed. It's two different people. She says it's just like the truckers. Somebody takes the license, but the one that doesn't speak English is the one that actually goes to work. They're running a scam through staffing companies and people that are in HR to get their people in front of American resumes and taking the American jobs.
Okay, so there you go. There's another one. I just shared the link for that video in the chat. But this next one is, oh, is that? That's not it. Hold on. I got to make sure I find the right one. Give me 1 second. I think this is it.
Did you see that Shiloh Hendricks is going to be getting, going to try to bring her up on charges for the 3 times she dropped the N-bomb on the wonderful scientist or engineer in Rochester, Minnesota, when the accusation was leveled from her to the Somali kid. You stole my fucking kid's stuff. And another person was there.
Oh.
And he was filming. I don't know why he was filming. He's got some PDF file shit in his background. He raped a young girl that him and a roommate kind of spit roasted together. She was like 15 or 17, something like that. And they dropped all charges, of course, because can't fucking hold people accountable if they're not fucking white Irish, not Italian. Gotta drop the charges. But Shiloh Hendricks is going to be getting brought up on charges for the 3 N-bombs she gave to the wonderful engineer or scientist out there in Minnesota. Fucking Winter State, Minnesota. You fucking pile of shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is the one I hadn't, for some reason I hadn't opened it, but this is the other one that I thought was wow. This is some of this stuff is shocking. I'm still shocked. But here I'm gonna pause this. Okay, these are some non-citizens, people like what we're going through with the trucking thing, to get commercial driver's license to pass the exam, even though they can't speak English, a word of English. And if they can't communicate with you in the office, when you're asking them questions, then why would you think they could pass the test? So this is very interesting. I can't wait for you guys to watch this. Okay, here we go.
And now we have an exclusive look into a criminal investigation about just that. We've obtained documents about 5 people arrested in Jacksonville. We're showing only the face of the man already convicted. The charges: felonies, cheating to get their CDL, commercial driver's license to drive a truck. Do the men arrested speak English? On the arrest reports, take a look. All requested interpreters. The arrests fall under the Bureau of Criminal Investigations and Intelligence from the Florida Highway Patrol. It's complex.
This is a very elaborate case. It is.
Sergeant Dylan Bryan with FHP says there is now an investigation statewide across Florida. Dozens and dozens of cases, he says. And the cheating scheme centered in Jacksonville.
Stand up. All right. Stand up for me.
You're watching now a body camera from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office of an arrest made inside the DMV on Roosevelt. One man arrested, Vladislav Yurashik, found guilty of 2 felonies, sent to jail in April for 8 months. Brian calls him above entry level, but not the mastermind. So you're looking for the kingpin.
Always.
So how does FHP say this cheating scheme works?
We were shocked to see the extent that they were going to.
Brian calls it organized fraud. According to investigators, the men went in here, the DMV on Roosevelt, to take the CDL test to drive a truck. But they are rigged up with equipment to get their answers.
And you see the actual apparatus that he's wearing. He has a chest harness that actually holds the phone.
A red iPhone in the harness, and under a t-shirt, you see the hole right there? So he comes in this t-shirt with a hole cut in it.
Yes.
Now watch this. In a video we've obtained from the DMV, this man opening his shirt. Brian says it's kind of like FaceTime. The men sit in front of a computer and wiggle around.
Their body language is abnormal.
Until somebody outside in a parking lot can read the test questions on the screen in English and then tell them through this earpiece in their language. Employees at the DMV got suspicious.
Most people don't start to disrobe when they take a DL test.
They're unbuttoning their shirts.
They are, indeed.
So the 5 men arrested so far, that's just the tip of the iceberg?
It is.
This is happening all over the country. Maybe from Jacksonville, we can make a difference.
Interesting. Have you guys heard anything about this before?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? You knew about them cheating?
This is like a long time ago. Yeah. All this stuff I know about, like, that's when I don't understand.
You don't understand.
It's like, no, I just know it. I just know it happens. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just saying. It's like everything I don't know. They're old stories, like 10 years, 20 years ago.
Well, they're not. These are newer things. These are what they're talking about right now.
I know they've been doing it for a long time. So
well, yeah, but see, I didn't know about it. But that's why it's important that we get people to see it, because there's a lot of this stuff I had no idea.
Right.
And I think it's important. I just shared the link for that video for anybody who wants to see it. And I think it's good. Let me get rid of some of these. Okay, now here's the next story, because we were talking about the trans stuff that's been going on. So here's a couple of. Are you all right, Ruben?
Yeah, fine. We have to go a little while.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say if you need to leave or whatever, just let me know. But this right here is another one. It's about the whole thing with the transgender, and this person. Yeah, this guy is thinking that 30% of Antifa is a trans or non-binary. Okay. And they're saying that these people are linked to like 6 different killings, and these trans groups are being trained to kill. This is what this person's thinking. This is a militant wing of the Democratic Party. That's what these people are going to be talking about. This is from Newsmax. So I thought it was pretty interesting, and I hadn't seen this part of it, or anybody talking about this. So I thought that this might be something somebody would be interested in. Here we go.
Yesterday's mass shooter joins a growing list of mass shootings carried out by people in the trans community, among other crimes, like the trans group called the Zizians. They've linked to 6 killings. Trans has become very violent in this country, hasn't it?
Yes, I think the public should be aware that the mass killing atrocity that happened yesterday by the trans shooter did not happen in sort of just a vacuum. It occurred in the context of years now of far left, leftist, and mainstream left-wing propaganda that is trying to mainstream grievance and ideology among the trans activists and the far left, to the point now where at every demonstration you go to for trans rights, they will make claims that they are victims of an ongoing genocide. When Audrey Hale committed the mass killing at the Covenant School in Nashville 2 years ago, there was a big protest several days afterwards at the state capitol, and people held up an extra finger for each victim that was killed. But they held up an extra finger because they included Hale as a victim in that. And that is the mentality of a very large segment of the activist radical left and the radical chic who support them in elite society in media.
Yeah, that's so well said. You wrote a book a few years ago on Antifa. You warned about the radicalization that's happening. There's the book right there, Unmasked. Warning too about the rise of what you call Trantifa. What is Trantifa?
Well, more than 5 years ago, I was observing, just based on the arrest data out of Portland, where I'm originally from, at these Antifa riots, that disproportionately the arrestees were trans, non-binary, or gender diverse. And by disproportionate, sometimes 15% at a night, sometimes 20%, sometimes upwards to a third of the arrestees. Now, there are a lot of trans people in the US. The numbers is growing, but it's not 30% of the population. So it was a phenomenon that I observed then. And I saw that in the time since, the propaganda messaging has become more radical, more extreme, to the point now where there are militias and sort of pseudo paramilitaries that have formed around the United States by transgender identifying people, telling them that they need to fight back against the US government because of transgenocide. They're teaching them how to use deadly firearms weapons. And it's being encouraged by the mainstream media. You can look at reporting that has been done at the local and national level that has made it seem chic and cool for these anti-government extremists, who many of them deal with mental health comorbidities, by the way, and are on hormones, to take up firearms against their perceived enemies.
What a mess. What a mess. Andy, no, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Yeah, pathetic, isn't it? Yeah, I saw a video.
I say we've known this for, again, another story we've known for like a billion years.
Yeah, we've known, but most other people haven't noticed.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. Basically, what I did post today, a couple posts. I shared them because, again, that's they're doing. The narrative now is basically, trans are under attack, which is not true at all. And you can go and look at my X. I have it there. I put a link there to the one article I did because I basically did a rebuttal to Jen Psaki's crap that she did yesterday. Demented
with that gun, the rainbow gun.
That's one of the things I did. I did multiple things.
Yeah.
I'm doing multiple things right now, but I'm going to start to actually do something. I'm not going to complain, talk about it. I'm actually do something. I'm actually going to do my thing. One of the many things I'm doing is going to be start doing amicus briefs and putting them out there to get things done and affect public policy, because it can be done. And I'm doing a lot of things with the 10th Amendment group and all that stuff. But I do have to get going, unfortunately. But I've been doing a lot of work. I know. I've been things are getting better, but it's been really, really not rough, but difficult few days. But things are a lot better going on. But a lot of things are moving around, and hopefully more things are coming through. More winning, more of the Trump policies are to get me more clients. So a lot of things are happening now. I'm basically relaunching my business, getting the website updated, all that stuff, and then everything's gonna be launched. And again, I don't know if anybody's out there, but if you remember me on Matt's show, all of those things now are coming true. I'm publishing my book, but I'm editing it right now. And what I'm doing is I'm editing it, and then I'm having every single chat bot review it, and I'm paying to have it professionally edited also. And it's a slow process because there's over 500 poems. I have different books and all that stuff, and I'm getting the process now done. And that's going to happen pretty soon. So more things will be coming out. Watch me a Substack. What is that?
It's like roast. Yeah, it looks yummy. I'm starving. I'm gonna
get some food. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. Talk to you soon.
Thank you very much for hanging out with us. I'll see you later.
Good seeing you, Ruben.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. But it's a lot of us have been talking about a lot of this stuff for the last 4 years, basically. about, wow, that's weird. How do they get away with it? All that kind of stuff. But
I got one for you.
Yeah.
I got one for you. Okay, why is Ilhan Omar not behind bars?
Oh, is that what you just shared in the private chat?
Breaking all these rules. So
is that what you shared?
Yep.
Want me to share it?
Yeah, I did. Adultery,
Okay,
marriage fraud, immigration fraud, tax fraud, perjury, bigamy, incest, bribery, money laundering, and campaign finance abuse. She was caught by her husband, Ahmed Hersey, in bed with her white political consultant, Tim Minette, and she'd already slept with her own brother, Ahmed Nursed Elmi. Between 2018 and 2017, Omar's campaign laundered about $586,000 of her white husband's firm, E Street Group. Her range of services and included digital advertising, fundraising, consulting, digital communication, and white sex. The campaign also paid $7,000 directly to Minette for their adulterous white relationship, even though Omar publicly denied the affair before hiring his white consulting firm. Copy the Washington Post. Okay.
Is that it? Is that it? You
Yeah,
finished?
I'm
I was trying to share the picture, up there on the screen, so everybody could see it. So I had to go open it and pull it up for you. But yeah, I don't know why. But is she in Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
She's one of those sacred cows.
With this shit, it's just it's shocking to me that that any of these people are getting away with this shit. Let's see. I'm trying to find the next stuff that I had, but I got a couple other things I thought were pretty interesting. I think you're going to like this one, but I feel 100% like this woman that I'm about to share. It says, if you're afraid of a 1,400-year-old rape culture coming for you and your children, you're irrational. So I got to share this. You guys have got to hear this. I think she's really smart. But I've talked about this religion many times and how it isn't
the religion of peace.
Yeah, that religion.
If I say out loud that I'm afraid of Muslim men, I'm branded as a racist. Not because my fear is irrational, but because statistics confirm what I say. Muslim men are overrepresented in rape, violence, murder, and other serious crimes across Europe. I'm not afraid because of skin color. I'm afraid because I know the ideology that underpins the culture many of these men carry, a totalitarian, woman-hating, anti-human doctrine that for 1,400 years has oppressed, conquered, and killed in the name of Islam. The moment I express this fear, it becomes xenophobia. I need to be shamed for xenophobia. Meanwhile, these same men can come into our countries, our nation, spread fear, threaten, and harm through rape, murder, and whatnot. And it's not defined as terror. It's not treated as a problem. Pointed out, and somehow we remain the problem. We're the racist. And every murder of a Muslim is amplified, politicized, and used to the fullest to heap more shame on the national population. The double standard is boundless. We see it every day. We invite
celebrate when they get killed.
Rapists and murderers, placing them ahead of our own citizens for housing, welfare, and for protection. We put them ahead of us in the endless healthcare queues. Palestinians are in front of us in our healthcare queues that we paid for. These are terrorists. We're told that our fear is irrational, while their fear of us is considered legitimate. We who fear for the future of our nation, our culture, we're branded as Nazis. The irony is complete. Who, after all, did Hitler actually ally with?
The more I learn about the Nazis, the more I like them.
Jerusalem and the Muslim Brotherhood. Socialists and Islamists have found common cause. Even then, they did that. Later, we saw the same pattern in Iran, where socialist revolutionaries allied with Islamists to overthrow the Shah, only to be crushed by the very Islamists they had helped bring to power. Must you really feel the noose tight around your neck before you grasp the gravity of it? And no, my question is not a call to violence. It's a genuine and logical question, since most of Iran's socialists didn't understand the reality until they were on their way to the gallows, neck snapped. History is repeating itself. Today, it's the Western socialists and globalists who once again are aligning with Islam. Both of you share a hatred of nation states. Both of you seek to crush the rights of the individual. Both of you live off control, fear, and submission. And once again, it is we who point this out, we who warn you, who are branded extremists. Meanwhile, those who walk indirectly in Hitler's footsteps get to call themselves progressives. You're on the wrong side of history. I refuse to be dedicated into this linguistic prison where truth is hate, statistics are racism, and defending one's own country is extremism. We are not the ones who are on the wrong side of history. It's you. You're on the wrong side of history. The ones who import the violence, you excuse it, you remain silent about Islamist brutality, and simultaneously demonize your own people. To those who insist on silencing criticism while believing you stand on the right side, wake the fuck up. History will judge you, just as it has already judged the alliances whose footsteps you now walk in. Okay? Toodles.
Yeah, I think she was great because you could tell that she is sick and tired of the shit. She wanted it over with. And the sad truth is that
we've allowed it to happen.
They just turn around because they don't want to deal with it. Just like I was saying many times, like that woman years ago, it was answered her door and there was a guy at her door and he started stabbing her. He stabbed her 37 times before somebody tried to help her, even though there was people standing in the street watching her be stabbed. Some guy was up on a telephone pole, crawled down the telephone pole and ran to her and tackled the guy. He's the reason she lived. So it's sad because there's one person in a huge group of people that will step up and try to do something. The rest of them just stand there, take their cameras out, video it or whatever, or turn around and walk off. Just like I've said in my own, in many times in spaces, on live streams, that if you don't want to get involved, call 911. Just get on your phone as you're walking away and call 911 and say, someone's being attacked. Do something. Get off your ass and make a choice. Don't just let someone be assaulted and do nothing and just turn and look the other way. I remember I said this, and it was during one of our shows. I don't remember which one it was, but during that whole thing with that coach, that famous coach that was caught raping young boys. Remember that?
Yep.
And I said that there was a guy that I watched one day. There was the testimony of this guy who was assistant or whatever of this coach. And I listened to his testimony. I cried and cried. I was so mad and so upset over what happened to that little boy. They asked this guy, what did you see? And he said, well, I went downstairs. I went to the house and the wife said he was downstairs, her husband, the coach. So he goes down the stairs and he says, as I ascended down the stairs or descended down the stairs, I heard screams. That's what he said. And he said, so he hurried, got faster, and he ran down there. And he said he got down to this room. It's like a big office. And then there was a bathroom door. And he ran to the bathroom door and he opened it. And when he looked in, he saw that guy that man in the shower with a 10-year-old boy, and the boy was screaming, "Help me!" And they said, "What did you do?" And he said, "I shut the door and I left."
Wow.
Remember, I said that guy should have went to prison. The guy that was testifying about what he saw, he did nothing to help a screaming boy from being assaulted. Oh man, I wish I'd been there. That guy wouldn't be alive. I'd be in prison right now, but I'm telling you right now, that kind of shit is sickening. Sickening. Well, see, that was years and years ago. That was years and years ago, but the guy did get something. I don't know what, but nothing. Any punishment they do to the guy is not enough. I mean, that's just how I look at these people. It's disgusting. These people disgust me, and I wish that I wish there was some kind of justice, but there isn't any justice.
I wish we could do something about Bolshevism, because that's kind of the root of what this is. We've allowed these people to infect our societies and open the floodgates wide. So you have all of Europe, which has fallen, except for Hungary. Hungary is out there doing the old Nazi rule. And I like this. Earlier you heard me say, I kind of like one of the things that Nazi was doing. If you got a mortgage, you and your wife were brand newlyweds, and you're young, for every kid you already had, they would drop 0.25% off.
Mm-hmm.
And they would negotiate. You could borrow against your deposit. That was some of the things going on in the late 30s with these banks in Germany. Not the greatest place in the world, not the beacon of freedom that so many of us think it might have been. But as time goes on and America keeps shaking hands with these miserable fucking third worlders, I wonder, did we let the right one win? I'm frustrated at this.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of anybody that's not America, but I really want America to earn its right for dominance, and it hasn't. The more I discover, I'm fucking pissed.
Mm-hmm. I know. That's what I'm saying. Once your eyes are open, once you see it unfolding in front of you, how are you supposed to put the blinders back on and crawl back in your bed and forget about it? You can't.
No.
You really can't. You have to hide your head and pretend like you don't know, but you will always know now. You will always have the truth, and you have to live with it, because now you're going to be guilty. Now you're going to feel guilty when you see something unfolding in front of you and you just turn around and walk off, because you just say, it's not my problem. That's what they say. And then when you don't call the cops, you don't do anything, and then it happens to you, and you watch the people
Nobody
stand
responds.
around.
Nobody helps you out. Is that karma?
Yeah, it sounds like a Twilight Zone episode or something, doesn't it? But this next thing, I was really surprised. It was from Gunther Eagleman. He posted it, and it came across my timeline. And when I was watching it, I was like, all these people that I see let all this nasty shit happen, like Nancy Pelosi, they're Catholic. At least they talk about how they're Catholic all the time. I'm Catholic, I'm Catholic, I'm Catholic, blah, 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 I'm Catholic. And so I just want you guys to listen to this. Is a priest who's talking about how he doesn't understand. You can't be a practicing Catholic and be a part of the current Democratic Party. So I wanted you guys to hear this, because this is an actual religious person. You know, this is what he does. He's a priest for the Catholic Church, and this is a sermon he's giving. So I just wish people like Nancy Pelosi would see this. You know, if she's a Catholic, why is she doing some of the things that she's doing? And start paying attention to whether or not what religion your people are in office and stuff. Try to find out, because I don't know, if they say they're Catholic, I might start thinking, well, maybe I'm not voting for that person. I'm getting there, because if Nancy Pelosi,
Catholic, you've got this, and we've got the Orthodox, the Eastern Church, and they're a lot more stringent on what they allow.
Well, that might be where this guy's from. I just saw this and watched it. And I was like, wow, just listening to what he's saying. It sounds like stuff I hear a lot in my churches that I go to because, Baptist churches are, a lot of them are very strict about a lot of stuff.
I know a lot of Baptists.
Buy the
a
cow,
lot of
you get
ladies
milk
from
for free.
Baptists that they were young girls. Man, they were hoes. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. So,
Baptist
shotgun
churches.
weddings and all that good stuff. But here we go. I'm going to make it bigger, and I want you guys to be able to listen to this.
You cannot be a practicing Catholic and be part of the current Democratic Party, knowing that this group is actively working for the killing of the unborn. You cannot be part of a group or an association that's focus is to bring about moral evils. This is why for centuries, the Catholic Church has made it very clear that you cannot be a Freemason, because there are foundational principles of the Freemasons that are contrary to the Catholic faith. You cannot be part of something which is essential to it, moral evils, because you cannot be part of something and not support what is essential to it, picking and choosing what you want, what you like, and you have a moral obligation not to be part of that. There is a moral obligation here not to be part of them, regardless of whatever other good things you might think the Democratic Party is trying to bring about. Murder is a line you cannot cross.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting, the way they said it, because I'm shocked that I'm glad he said it. I just wish I'd seen it more, because I've seen so many people like Nancy Pelosi, for one, and a few others. I don't remember all their names and everything, standing up there, with their crosses and stuff on. And then the fact that they did all that, and then they show up for their Democratic convention and they have an abortion truck out front, and stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then I remember when Obama was running, and I was talking to a few people because, I was passing out flyers and stuff like that, trying to get people to vote for certain candidates. And they were talking about how wonderful they loved Obama. And then I was like, aren't you Catholic? And they were like, yeah. And I said, well, you shouldn't be voting for him then. Well, why not? He's wonderful. And I said, did you know that in your state of Illinois, that Obama is one of the people that was pushing the fact that young girls, 14-year-old girls, should be able to get an abortion without their parents' permission, without them even knowing that they should be able to go to their counselor at school if they were 14 and they were pregnant and get an abortion, and the counselor would help them without having the parents even know about it. And they were like, oh, he didn't do that. And I said, okay, well, look it up. But little things like that. And these people were proud. Boy, they were just all like gung-ho to vote for somebody like that does those things, because they don't know what they're voting for. They don't. And it was funny because I did the same thing with Bill Clinton when people were saying, I'm voting for the man with the plan, all that bullshit. And I'm like, what's his plan? And they would like, they didn't know shit. People vote for people just like people, what was his name? Rooftop always says it. Governor Hair Gel. Okay. All these white liberal women love him because he's so handsome. Doesn't matter that he's a piece of shit scumbag. That's what I don't understand. I say the same thing about the guys. Guys going all goo goo gaga over OAC. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, because she's got a
nice. Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
Is that her?
Yeah, her. Because
Okay.
she's built like a brick house or whatever, and she's hot.
No, she's not. She got fat over the last 10 years.
Well, all I know is they say that they'd sleep with her, that she's good looking, blah, blah, blah. And I go, so it doesn't matter that she's a nut job liberal piece of shit and agrees with all this crazy shit that's going on, trying to force her agenda down your throat, and that kind of stuff, you still have sex with her, and they go, yeah, I could. So I just think all that kind of shit is just disgusting. I care about stuff like that. I would not want to date someone that agrees with any of this shit. You know what I mean? Because I do care what I have. I do care who I hang out with. Because it makes a difference to me. I'm proud of who I am, and I try to be the best person I can possibly be. And I would want to be with. I'm not ashamed to say this is my friend and put my arm around him, no matter what anyone else thinks about him. If I know his character and he's a good person, I won't. I'm not embarrassed about that. To be my friend. Or someone I care about, I wouldn't mind telling people that. But the thing is that you got people that only like somebody because of what they look like. That's it. That's the only thing. You have nothing else about this person that you like. They're smart, they're witty, they make me laugh, they love good movies, they love comic books, they write, they draw their own comic books. I mean, there's tons of stuff out there to actually know somebody and why you like to be friends with them. If you only like someone because they're attractive, or that you would just sleep with them because they're attractive, and that's the only reason, that's not someone I want. I wouldn't want to be with that person ever. I wouldn't want to be friends with that person. I wouldn't want to be associated with that person, because that kind of person is not the kind of person I want to be my friend. I can't trust them. See what I mean? If I can't trust the choices that you make like that, why would I be able to trust you with any of my personal information? See what I mean? I don't know. I just wish more people cared about who they slept with. I mean, but now you got an app. You get on it and you type in a few things, I guess height and shape or whatever, and you just swipe back and forth until you find somebody. And you call them and you get in an Uber and you go over and you have sex with them. And then they leave and you never see them again. It's like, Jesus, that's disgusting. That's why we're where we're at. You sleep with someone, you don't know anything about them, and now you got a disease, or you're pregnant, and now you're never going to find this person. Now you got a child you didn't even want, and now you're having it with somebody you don't even know, and then we wonder why their kids grow up all screwed up. We got this kind of shit. I mean, to me, it does not make any sense. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding like goody two shoes. I'm not. I had 4 sisters. I have a child of 5 daughters. Okay. My mom pretty much had to raise us like 9 months out of the year herself, okay? Because my dad was in the Air Force and he was gone a lot. He was always off training and doing other kinds of stuff, so he wasn't there. So my mom took care of us the best she could. But guess what? My mom whipped our ass. She grounded us. She made us do chores. She made us learn how to crochet, how to sew, how to change a tire on a car, all kinds of things. And guess what? We all graduated from high school and none of us had to get married. So it made a difference because she loved us, she cared about us, and she did the best she could to try to make us decent people, to where we said, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, that kind of stuff. Stuff that it doesn't seem like is that important anymore today to people. But what I was talking when you said something, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I was just saying goodbye to Patience.
Oh, okay. He had to go to bed.
His battery's dying.
Oh, plug in your phone or your laptop or whatever it is.
Yeah, limited resources, other people using cables. I get it.
I know, but you have a good night. I'm sorry about that, about your computer dying.
Do you remember the guy that had a few years ago? He'd been to court in the UK because he taught his dog to raise his paw up and give a friendly little wave.
Mm-mm.
And this dog was cute, but he was a little pug. And the dog, the guy's name is Count Dankula. One of my favorite YouTube shit posters.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I'm gonna click on it.
Count Dankula had a court case against him from the UK because he taught this little pug to give a wave. And people thought, oh, he's doing a Nazi salute. And here comes the fucking bobbies. So he spends like £500,000 to defend himself in court. Doesn't win the case, but doesn't get kicked off of life, doesn't become a prisoner. Well, his dog Buddha died earlier today.
Aww.
One of the greatest dogs of the past 5 years that I could recall. 12-year-old pug petered out.
That's a long time for a pug.
Yeah, I mean, that 12 years of heavy breathing. And I feel so sorry for him. But in the comment section, I had to run to the comment section and I rolled my ankle. I saw this.
An AI picture of him at the gates of heaven with Hitler. That's
And
terrible.
fucking right here. I'm sorry, but I'm stealing this from Count Dankula.
That's sad.
Funny shit. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you think it was funny.
I do, because of
But
all
Hardwicky agrees with you.
The fucking dog wasn't a racist. The dog was taught to put its paw up and get a treat. It's a fucking dog. It's not a.
That's funny though. Yeah, it's just a dog.
I mean, it's a dog. What the fuck, UK? You fucking useless fucking patsies.
Well, we heard from that one woman talking about how she can't even, she can't even walk down the street basically, and you can't say anything.
You gonna talk about the two sisters?
But not yet. I got a couple more things I wanted to share real quick.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry. Let me pull this other one up. I think it's this one. Here we go. All right. This one I thought was pretty interesting, but we'll see what you guys think because it had nothing to do with the other things we were talking about, but I still like it.
I need to take a minute and debunk some important misinformation.
Bro, we have your literal text messages. I know Brian Tyler Cohen told you nobody would find out about this, but we did. You've been exposed as being paid to make all your content. In case you're unaware, we now have the proof that all these liberal content creators were being paid $8,000 a month by a group founded by Brian Tyler Cohen. And the way they were paying them, they were just paying them a monthly salary of about $8,000. This way, they weren't paying them for specific pieces of content. Therefore, they didn't have to disclose they were paid to make. Hey, guys, all your favorite liberal creators, they're all part of this group. They're all getting paid. Fucking Barrett Adair, Suzanne Lambert, Ariel Fodor, Sander Jennings, David Packman, Lee McGowan, that girl you see on MSNBC known as Politics Girl, Olivia Juliana. Pretty sure you all knew that one, right? Oh, and Aaron Parnas, who, like I said, we literally have his text messages telling other creators this is a take it or leave it offer, and he's not interested in pushing for more money. All of this was funded by the 1630 Fund, and it was run by Democrat influencer Brian Tyler Cohen. Oh, and you know that girl, Elizabeth Booker Houston, who called out Madeline when she tried to point this out like 8 months ago? Yes, surprise, surprise, she's also being paid. But we told you this. Like, we told you that all of these people don't actually believe what they're saying. They're just being paid to make this content. And here's the thing. This should be the end of all their social media careers. They've been exposed as being paid to make this content, not disclosing it to anyone, and just saying whatever they're paid to say. But the left side of TikTok won't care.
Nope, they won't, and that's sad. But I've played him a few times. But yeah, I think it's great. But this is the last thing I wanted to share, and I think it's funny because remember I played a video wanting to arrest some different people that were involved in the cartel stuff, right? I played a few videos about that, but this is funny because the Mexican president, she wants the money that we got from the cartel takedown. Did you hear that?
No.
So listen to this. This is funny as shit. I was like, you gotta be kidding. But here we go. Listen.
Mexico's narco president, Claudia Sheinbaum, just said that she wants the United States to give back the $15 billion that the United States expects to extract from Sinaloa cartel leader Ismael El Mayo Zambada during his trial so that she can give those $15 billion to the poor in Mexico. Well, how convenient. You never did anything to get him behind bars. You are now facing allegations that he has said that judges, police officers, military, Politicians are on his payroll, and now suddenly you want the United States, which did the job to get him locked up, to now give you back $15 billion that you didn't work for so you can give it to the poor in Mexico. Right.
There's a lot of poor people in Mexico.
He has been kicking and screaming to get him extradited back to Mexico, maybe so that they could release him as he awaits custody the same way that they've done with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. But it ain't going to work this time, Miss Claudia. After doing nothing to get this under control in your country, now you're wanting a free ticket because the United States just did the job for you? And you're automatically a president of the people now. Please, just stop. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and don't forget to hit that follow button for your daily updates.
How
about new, you crazy Dutch bastard?
Oh, I thought that was great. But yeah, I was shocked because I remember, our president asking, hey, help us out. Let's. They're a terrorist organization because that's what our country said, right? And nothing. So now she wants the money because Trump's actually doing something. So I hope Trump says, hell no, capture your own criminals. Remember that they were unloading that ship and they were showing all the amounts of drugs and stuff they were finding on that ship and money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, why should we have to give that to her country? We shouldn't. So screw that shit.
I look at the Mexican lady president and I just think, what's your last name? Scheinbaum. Nine.
She's German.
Yes.
Hmm.
I mean, she would have to be with that last name, right?
Yeah, or she married a German.
Austrian. You fucking.
Oh. But what was some of the stuff that you wanted to? Is it in the private chat?
I think it might be.
Okay,
Go ahead,
hold on.
click on something.
Okay, I'm gonna click on this one and I'll bring it up, and then we did that one already, so I'll do the next one. Sorry. Let me do the next one. Oh, I don't know if I can do this one.
Which one?
It's it's him talking about the Shooters Manifesto.
Yep.
Because he's named in it.
All of it. Show all of it.
Yeah, okay, but his name is in that.
Uh-huh.
Because I watched the show. I watched the thing last night, and he talked about him, and he met him and all this stuff.
No, he didn't. He didn't meet him.
Okay, this is what he said in his deal. That's what I'm saying. So, okay, let me...
Shooter claimed he met him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's probably why he's doing this, because he wants to make sure people...
He's running for office right now, and he wants to make sure he gets out before little faggot fucking Tony Gonzalez.
Video is going to be a departure from the normal.
I opened it, made it bigger, so...
The dandy that's running against him as the incumbent, Tony will use that knowledge of he was named in the manifesto. He would use that, even though Tony's a Republican of high moral character.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty certain Brandon's just getting out in front before anything else happens. But nobody from SHOT Show, nobody in his acquaintance or friend circles are saying they've ever seen this guy before. He's just using a fucking Saul Alinskyite tactic to go out and decry what your enemies are doing when you're doing it. That way they have to defend themselves.
Okay, well, I'm going to play it now. Yeah, Brandon has got something to say, so here we go.
Educational or funny content you're used to, because I have to address a very serious topic. I wasn't going to talk about this originally because I didn't really want to give any more attention to this topic than there needed to be. But after learning more about the situation and processing some things, I thought it was important that I speak up in my own words and clear some things up definitively. I will say that I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years now, and this is the first thing in my entire career that
speaking candidly, has kind of fucked me up. For those who have no idea what I'm talking about, let me catch you up. On August 27th, at time of recording less than a day ago, a deranged, biologically male nut job tried to go end the lives of innocent children at a Catholic school mass. This is one of the most heinous and indefensible acts I can think of. Killing innocent children at their place of worship. He did end up taking the lives of a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, as well as injuring 17 others, predominantly, again, mostly innocent children. This is obviously horrific and a clearly targeted hate crime. But the reason I'm coming to you in this video is that I was specifically mentioned by name. In the psychotic ramblings that the shooter released before he went out to go do what he did, he specifically mentions me by full name several times, including a push to vote for Brandon for president. When I first found out about this, I did not want to believe that it was real. And then I listened to the video, and when I heard it with my own 2 ears, I got fucking sick to my stomach. I'm going to go ahead and say it now, and I would like to think this goes without saying, but again, I want to leave zero fucking wiggle room for interpretation. I condemn every part of this to the deepest extent of my fucking soul. It is unreal to think about this level of evil being carried out by somebody who even knows my fucking name. He goes on to say that apparently we met at SHOT Show in Las Vegas and that we talked and that we agreed on a lot of things, which I want to make abundantly clear right out the gate. I do not believe that that happened. Now, if you're unfamiliar, SHOT Show is one of the biggest weapons conventions in the world. It's industry only. It's not something the average person can really go to. Like, it's not as easy as just like showing up and buying tickets. Like, it's not a gun show. It's an industry trade show, and every year me and my friends will do like a meet and greet or something like that at booths of companies that we work with. Fans from the industry who are already there at SHOT Show come up and take pictures. It's very normal, and for the most part, the community is incredibly respectful. I meet hundreds, if not thousands, of people there every year, and I have no control over who these people are. But I can legitimately put my hand on a Bible and say, I have zero recollection of ever meeting this creep. I asked my friends who were also there, and they had no recollection. And believe me, this is the kind of person that would stand out at SHOT Show. NSSF, the organization that runs SHOT Show, has actually released a statement as well, saying that they have no record of this person ever having attended SHOT Show. So right out the gate, the evidence points to this claim of having met and talked with me is likely made up. But ultimately, I can't prove that he met me. I also can't prove that he didn't. But God's honest truth is I have no memory of this person. One thing's for sure is I don't believe for a fucking moment there's a lot that me and this fucking psycho would agree on. He goes on to write a bunch of stuff about like killing Trump and mentions iDubbbz and Ethan Klein indirectly, bands that he liked, shit like that. And I obviously don't think they have anything to do with this either. It reminds me a lot of that Christchurch shooting where the shooter said, subscribe to PewDiePie before, on his stream before going out and targeting that mosque. I remember feeling really bad for Pewds when that all went down. And I never thought in a million years it would happen to me, but here we are. Now, there's all sorts of theories on the internet. One of them is that this was somebody who was clearly left-leaning, who was attempting to slander me, intentionally damage my reputation. But to be honest, there's no fucking way to tell. You also may have noticed I have not said this fucker's name in this entire video. I've already made it a personal point. I have not said that name, and I will never say that fucking name. I refuse to make these pieces of shit famous, and I really wish the media would follow suit. And on that note, that's actually the last of the attention I'm going to be giving to this deranged piece of shit's words, because I have something far more important to talk about, which is how we can together help the people that he hurt. I've seen firsthand how communities can be rocked by something like this, and I've already personally committed to helping, and I'm hoping that I can help leverage my audience, you guys, so that together we can be a force for good to help the families, the school, and everybody affected. Because at the end of the day, I believe that you all out there watching this video are good. I believe that we're a force for good. And I invite you to join me in not letting the actions of some deranged psycho stop us from doing good. I'm working with some people in law enforcement right now at time of recording to figure out the best places that we can help support these communities to where the help and the funds that we send them actually go to the places they need to go. So when I figure that out, links will be in the description, and that is where I will be personally donating as well. Aside from the physical, tangible, or financial help, I also recommend you keep these people in your prayers. And if that's not your thing, at least just keep them in mind or reach out and let the community know that you support them. I wish we were talking about anything else today, but I take some solace in the fact that despite this terrible tragedy, we're able to use this as an opportunity to do good and try to help those who really need it right now. So that's it. I just wanted to clarify those things, make sure there was no room for interpretation. I love you all. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really good video, but I didn't expect anything less from him, you know. And if I was in Texas, I'd vote for him. I would have voted for him last time. So
I wish I could vote for him, but I live on the wrong side of the highway.
yeah, I understand, but the thing is that it's terrible that you can't control that kind of stuff, you know. Just like, you know, he's a victim, just like the kids and the other people are. A person that's that messed up, you know, he was trying to go out with a bang and take down as many people as he could before he went. That's what I could tell from you know, watching that video and stuff that he was talking about in the video. That's what he wanted. He had his mind made up. He knew what he wanted to do. Sorry, I'm really getting tired. He just wanted to hurt people. You know,
Yeah.
that was his goal, because he was going to kill himself, and he said that. So, and he did it because he didn't want to live anymore. He hated the fact that he you know, transgendered and all that kind of stuff, and that things didn't work out the way he wanted them to be, and you know, he's suicidal or whatever you want to call it. But you know, I see that a lot in this in that group, small little group of people that went through all that stuff.
Just
there.
as I wish for a certain group of neurodivergent retards to just chimp out on their own away from the rest of us.
Yeah.
I wish for this 41%, man. We got to raise those numbers up. That's all I'm going to say. I absolutely think that every time I see a transgender person, like, so did your dad beat you, or did you just get yelled at by mom and now we've got to deal with you, the retard, for all the rest of your life? Because that's how I fucking feel. Trannies just, they reject everything about themselves. They don't agree with the fact that they were made perfect in an image that somebody already had in mind when they were creating them. They reject that. Okay, that's fine. That you don't want to believe that way. That's cool. That's all right. You know, if you want to believe in Frisbeeantarianism, that's good. You have some faith or in something or whatever. But every time I see a fucking tranny, like, you start talking to them, and if you are steady on things, and if you can have conversation, after a while you start getting to the meat of the matter as to why they are the way they are. And people that are unhappy, they let you know they're unhappy. And most time the anger comes out at you, but within 30 minutes of a good drink or two, they've told you where their real hatred lies. And often it's focused inward.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just enabling mental illness. America has gotten really bad at this. I don't know why. I really wish it'd go away.
Closed all the insane asylums and all the places like that. Mental health facilities are pretty much all went belly up, I guess.
Bring them back. They're good.
Yeah, we need to. We need something. We need to do something like that. And Trump's talked about that. So hopefully,
I mean, what were the SSRIs that this guy had that would be in some sort of like in common with other mentally ill mass shooters in recent years? I'd like to know that.
I don't know. I think they're probably looking into all that now.
We got the right guy finally. We got RFK looking at shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, And the thing is that, we just have to be patient until they get the stuff together and they can tell us about it. But even RFK has been very open about everything he's been doing. I think all of them have done a great job of being very open about, this is what we're doing, this is what we're trying to do. We got this, that, and the other going on, whatever it is. I think they're doing a really good job. And I really think I'm very impressed with Trump. I've really been surprised by it, because remember, like I said, I wasn't going to vote for Trump. I was going to vote for Ben Carson. So when all this stuff, happened, and then Trump proved that he meant what he said. So that's how he won me over, by doing something, by acting and doing what he said he was going to do. And that's why I trust him. But if he does something really bad or whatever, then yeah, I would think that I would lose faith in him. But to me, I'm gonna give him a year and see what else he can pull out this year, for our country, and see if the route is getting better or not. But do you have anything you want to talk about? What's coming up on your channel or anything like that?
Not really a whole lot of big stuff. I mean, Saturday's game is going to be the Slumbering Czar saga. So if you love high-level gameplay, bunch of NPCs with the heroes trying to clear out a giant tower dedicated to evil, which is kind of what we need to have happen today in the real world. It's a lot of fun. We go for about 8 hours, 9 hours if Janet's allergies don't fucking come up. And then Sunday, we're going to be watching a classic film. You might have heard about it. It's got Matthew Broderick, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Rutger Hauer. It's called Lady Hawk.
Yeah.
Janet's been like humming the whole time that we decided on that. So
it'd be fun. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So and then we'll do the review after we watch the movie. So that's gonna be fun on Sunday afternoon. But I wanted to play a video, a really short one, because I've been getting feedback from people finally. I've been asking a lot of people, what can I do now? I mean, what else can we do? What other kind of show can we do? And so I came up with an idea, and I'm going to play the video, and then I'll talk about it before I, close the thing.
Bitch, diggy, bitch. Welcome to the late night circus, where you could be a freak on purpose. Under the sheets, I'm lurking, me. Do you like what you see? Do you like what you see?
Okay, I'm going to call it the Late Night Circus, and I think it'll be on Wednesday night. Okay, and what I'm wanting to do is get anyone that has creepy, scary stories, like about Bigfoot or other creatures or UFOs or abductions, UFO abductions, anything like that. Or let's say there's a creepy tale, like Blair Witch Project from your state or whatever, and you want to come on my show and talk about it, and we'll look up as much information about it as we can and have a discussion on it. And I'm going to dress up like either a witch or a scary clown or whatever else, to give me a chance to get to do some more of my
you could probably make some really good money if you would dress up. If you could probably just dress up like a sexy clown. I was around on Reddit yesterday because I had to go find what was being said on the Fat Electricians Reddit subreddit. And while on the way over there, because I'm a male and it seems to think that if it throws me thirsty stuff, I'll fucking pursue it. Apparently, there's a sexy clown subreddit with like over 50,000 members in it.
I'm sure I won't look anything like any of those girls.
I don't know. I mean, I saw some girls that were cute, and I saw some girls that were built, and I saw some girls that were, oh boy, it's coming right towards us, and it was really bad. Like there's some out there that like they trace and they do stuff and they pop up in your feed on Twitter like 3 months later. Hey, I'm glad to finally see you again. God damn it, I thought I shook you off like herpes. Anyway, It's one of those funny things where you go there and they have the sexy clown thing. Like, and I guess there's a kink or fetish of like people that want to fuck clowns. I never knew this. I didn't want to know this, but I'm going to share this nightmare fuel with you in your chat
Yeah.
because I thought that like this is the beginning of the end. Like I've never thought that like I want to see a girl do a Harlequin version of Stephen King's It. And they
Well, I've dressed up as a clown a few times, but I wear a real clown
real clown outfit. Yeah. Yeah. Some of them do. Some of them just go where like, they body paint and pasties. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything like that. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not asking you to. I never
I
would
know,
ask.
but I'm just saying that I don't know what I'll wear. It depends on what the subject is for the night. You know, if we're going to talk about vampires, maybe I'll dress up like a vampire. If we're going to talk about, something else, UFOs, I'll just be my alien self.
Okay.
I don't know.
There was a rash of unusual clowns being creepy on I want to say Beyond Creepy actually did a video on the scary clowns of the 2016s, and it was right around the same time that first It movie came out. So I don't know if you're interested in that, but
like that's what I want people to do. I shared in the chat my Friday Night Shit Show email at Gmail is what it is. It's Friday Night Shit Show at gmail.com. If you have a creepy story or anything like that you would like to join me on the show and tell your story or whatever, and we could share pictures or whatever else. We'll look it up, if it's a tale from your state or whatever else. Because I remember I had somebody talking about the dark-eyed kids or something.
Black-eyed kids.
Yeah, the black-eyed kids and there's tons of stuff out there like that. And that's what I want. Even you, Bruce, if you're not busy on a Wednesday night or whatever.
I'm going to be asleep, honey.
Come on. Huh?
I like you a lot, but I'm going to be asleep. I pass out at like 4 or 5. I don't try to fight it. I just try to go horizontal. Oh, I'm tired. Let me go get some sleep. I need this.
Well, that's fine. I'm just saying, I'm just letting everybody know that this was an idea that I've got, and why not try it and see what happens, right?
Sounds good.
So just try to get more hours. Remember, like I said, I need like over 600 hours more than I have. So I've got to do something to come up with it, and I want something fun. I want to do something that everybody else isn't doing. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to think of something. But if any have an idea of what you think I should do on the show, I would love you to give me some feedback on it.
Hardwick is talking about the recent episode of the Y-Files where he goes into the face peelers a little bit. And I've studied the face peelers. I've watched about 6 or 7 hours of stuff from Peru.
I never heard of that. That's interesting.
They always have problems in this mountain village called San Antonio in Peru, and they were thinking that they were under attack by aliens. Timothy Alberino did like a 2 or 3 hour show once, and the Y-Files succinctly kind of packs it up for you, so you don't need to watch all of it. Alberino's a good host. He's a really good creator, actually. I like watching him, but there is an issue that he takes 3 hours to get to that instead the Y-Files gets to it within 35 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll find the
Y-Files. Like have an hour show or something like that.
I'll feed you the Y-Files episode, and I don't think you've ever seen the Y-Files before, but you should definitely check it out.
Okay, I will.
Because the face peelers are a group of aliens that supposedly live down in Peru and the remote areas, and they've caused problems for decades. Also, the fact that you've had South American UFO issues are really different down there than here. Like in '97 in Varginha, Brazil, there was a crashed UFO, and then like for days, people were seeing these retarded aliens in the bushes and the shadows. Like, no, I mean, they were seriously fucking retarded,
Yeah.
Because the aliens don't act like, these monocle wearing, monologuing aliens that are going to take over the earth. They're retards. They're fucking just like, they're missing like cells, chromosomes. They don't think well. And they were getting caught up in like fences and other stuff. The Varna, this Brazil incident is funny because you get to see like the majority of aliens that are out there more than likely are going to be just like that. They're going to be alive but not thriving. And that goes with so many things I hear because of all the cattle mutilations that have happened and the human mutilations, where often it's the same organs removed from both, where they remove half the jaw, the tongue, the asshole, eyes, orifices, various other organs, but like 20 feet of the earth is cut out. And they do that with the cows too. But like the aliens are missing, they're missing integral things. And so they come here and they harvest it and try to put it back into their genetic spiral. And that's why they're failing, because they don't have the DNA game down pat. And therefore, it's just this continuous cycle of human harvesting, cow harvesting, and it just keeps going and going and going. Those are typically done by the tall whites, but use the short whites as androids because they're not really good thinkers. They're good to program. They are not thinkers. But that UFO that crashed in Brazil, you should check that out. And you should research that, because that is.
I would love it if you'd send me a couple of these links or something, or names to look up,
Sure.
and then I will. I'd be happy to do that.
Hold on. Let me do that because I want to make sure you got this right. But the face peelers is good, and actually anything South America UFO stuff is always a lot of fun because it's a lot more wild than North America.
This is sad. That sounds horrible.
What?
What I just posted. It says there's also a man in South America who got hit by a thin beam from a UFO that caused him to regress into a childhood level of intelligence, and then he died. You know what that reminds me of? That movie that I asked you to put on the list last year, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
With Brad
Remember
Pitt.
that?
Yep.
So that's what that reminded me of, what he just, was telling me. Because that's interesting. But I just want to say thank you to everyone for hanging out with us tonight. I feel bad because there's over 100 people watching us, and I'm going to have to let us go. I mean, I'm sorry that I hope we weren't too boring or whatever, but I hope that something that we talked about was something you had never heard of, and you're going to look into it or whatever, try to find out more about it. But it's just, we've got to do something different. We've got to start looking at getting help for these people, not just pacifying them with makeup and surgery, actually do something, try to help them in here and in here. Because you must hate yourself an awful lot to go through all that, to do that to yourself. That's all I can think of. And to me, it's very sad. But being informed, I think, is very important for all of us. As much information as we could possibly gather on anything it is, no matter what it is. It's the only way for us to help prevent it from happening again, or to grow it if it's something good, if it's a good thing. But and the only way to do that is by us working together, as Americans that love this country, want to see us flourish. Everyone, our children grow up and have more money than we had, better jobs, better place to live, better schools, all those things. And hopefully we'll be able to do that if we all work together, right? But I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. And if you want, you can come and say hi to us tomorrow. We'll be playing, our what is it? Is it a Pathfinder kind of game? Is that what you'd say, Bruce? Okay, we're gonna play Pathfinder, and then
20 is what you want, honey.
we're going to, I want to roll better. I rolled like shit the other night too on Bears game, so I just roll like shit. So I told him from now on I'll use that D20 or whatever it is that rolls. You can roll your dice on it and stuff. I told him I'm probably gonna do
You should just keep rolling your die, because after a while, after some years, you get good at it.
Chris doesn't roll very good.
Chris
He's
is an
been-
amateur.
Yeah, but he's been rolling a long time since compared to me. And he's still not rolling very well. So, I just don't think I'm gonna get better. I'm just bad luck. That's all there is to it. Oh, what are those people? But just want to say thank you to everybody and hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you want to stop in and say hi while we're talking about the movie Lady Hawk, if you liked the movie and you enjoyed it, we're going to be doing.
I want to hear your opinions on this.
Do what?
I want to hear your opinions on this, because
on this movie,
Lady Hawk is not a bad movie. It's just not a movie I've seen before. I've tried watching it. I failed because I just exited out. The music killed me. The music absolutely killed my enjoyment of that film. I can't see
the band that played most of the music, so you let the movie just turn the music down.
I will.
Yeah.
Don't get upset if I have closed captions on.
That's fine.
Okay.
As long as you can see the movie, do that. I don't have a problem with that.
They got ministries.
I mean, a lot of people watch movies that can't hear. So people that can't hear watch movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But oh well. I think it's a good movie, and
I'm excited. I have stuffed your Twitter, by the way.
You've what?
I've got like 10 hours of YouTube watching for you, various Y-File stuff. He's probably one of the best cryptid UFO woogie type guys, and you're going to be happy with his streams. If we ever get to the level where we have a production supervisor for us that gets us to that degree,
that would be fun. But I don't know. I don't want people coming and telling us what we have to do and how to do it.
No, that doesn't happen over there.
Okay, well, I hope not, because that would ruin it. Then it's not fun anymore. You know what I mean? What we do is fun. We enjoy ourselves, because I've had many people say, I've never watched a movie review show that the review is longer than the movie. So I'm like, oh, wow, we have a good time. We enjoy it. So
we've absolutely done. We've let me go to my YouTube channel and just see exactly where I've done that. But I know we've got some very long Girl and Guy in a Movie stuff.
Yeah,
You're the Dragon.
Watched it. They said it was funny.
You're the Dragon. We went longer than the movie itself. Encino Man, we were longer than the movie itself.
Hey, wait, look at this.
What?
Jana from Another Planet. Would you be open to watching a version of Lady Hawk with a different score on Sunday? I have one.
He has the European version, which was released with a superior score than what we got.
Well, that would be great, wouldn't it? Then you'd be able to watch it and actually enjoy it, maybe.
I want to see that, Hardwick. If you've got it available, turn it over to you on Sunday.
Awesome. That'll be fun. Yeah, I always invite people, anyone that would like to come and watch us watch the movie. All of us watch the movie together. And then we have a short discussion afterward, in Discord, talking about the movie, what we liked, what we didn't, trivia that we might have known and the other people may not know about, stuff like that. And then we'll go live and do a review afterward. So it's fun. I enjoy doing it. I look forward to it every week. So if you guys want to know or do it, watch it with us, just send me a message on my Discord or on Twitter. And I'll be happy to make sure you're invited when we'll get ready to start the movie. What time do you normally do it? Noon? Is that what you said?
About 12:30.
About 12:30, and tomorrow Central Time if you guys are interested. Is when we're
The meeting will start probably about 1:30 because I got to let you guys frolic together and talk about things, and then we can get started.
Yeah.
But then Sunday, I try to get everything going with the movie reel and all that about 12:30.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sounds good to me. But thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And, wouldn't be as much fun, though, if we didn't have chat interacting with us and stuff to talk about some of the things that we find. And if you find anything during the week that you think is interesting or that we should talk about it on the Friday Night Shit Show, send me a DM and send me the link. And even if you've got it on your timeline or whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'll put it in our shit show chat. And then I'll put it in there so that we can bring it up and talk about it on the show, because that's where I get a lot of my stuff. People send me stuff, a lot of things. I'll post it underneath one of my posts on my timeline so I can find out about it. And then I'm like, what the hell? I never saw this before, that type of thing. So yeah, if you find something you think is interesting, or you might want to be on my new show and talk about all this wacky, crazy stuff, because I want to talk about UFOs and weird, creepy tales, in states and different things like that. I've been wanting to do that for a while, and I finally think that I've got a chance to do that on Wednesday nights. I think it'd be fun. And so just send me a DM on that if you're interested. But thank you, everybody. And you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye.
If you wear nice clothes, people think you're showing off. If you wear simple clothes, people think you're poor. If you speak your mind, you're rude. If you stay quiet, then you're a coward. If you're successful, then you're arrogant. And if you're struggling, then you're lazy. You see, no matter what you do in life, people will always have something to say. So ignore people and their opinions. Because so long as your God is pleased with you, who cares what people think?
He knows that this is much bigger than him. This is about the American people. They have no idea what they have unleashed. He was ready to go face the cameras and come out swinging.
What will future Americans say we did in our brief time here on Earth? It will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. And the future belongs to us.